Hey YouTube, how is it going? I hope all is well. Today was an interesting day for me. We had a lot of fun, but well, it's over now and we're starting on some other really fun stuff. The world's most authentic guitar, verified. I still can't get over this thing, so I kind of made a mistake last night. So after the live last night, I decided I would fiddle fart around with this a little bit. Now, all I did was two things really. One was I dropped the bridge down just to like a millimeter or two, something like that, like just to get it closer, you know, make it more playable. That was a huge deal. That solved all of my tuning issues. Basically, the action was too high. But second to that was I literally removed this. I removed that little thing right there, and that got rid of all the buzzing issues, which was mucking up the sound quite a bit, to be honest. So I did those two things, and then this thing actually became fun to play, which is to say it didn't go out of tune anymore, and it sounded pretty good. But as you can see, we've got a plethora of parts here to upgrade the world's most authentic guitar. What is the world's most authentic guitar? Well, it's a Gibson Les Paul Custom. Just not any Gibson Les Paul, but a Les Paul Custom with an ESP neck, a set neck at that, on a Telecaster body made out of mahogany, and, you know, stop bar tailpiece, humbuckies, all the fun stuffies. So we've got some Geiger branded stuff to put in there. We're going to put some locking tuners on there. I wish I don't know, maybe they're close to the same color once they're all out of the bag or whatnot. But I got some 3-on-3 locking tuners. I like locking tuners. So I got 3-on-3 for this, because these ones are cabbage, absolute cabbage. I got us a new stop bar tailpiece set up. I'm hoping it's going to fit this spacing. I am assuming it is. This is obviously, you know, what do you want, imported. These are obviously imported, so hopefully they just drop in, and I don't have to worry about that. I'm hoping I don't have to pull pins and stuff like that. And then I got some pickups. Now, these are not high dollar pickups. I wanted to get gold, and I think these are the Fleor brand. Yeah, they're Fleor brand. They're Alnico 5s, so they should be okay. I think they're going to be a little on the bright side, but we'll see. Anything's got to be better than these things. Now, I also got something else in hopes that we could reduce some of the wiring that's going back and forth in here. As you saw when we had this thing twisted over, we've got 3 different wires that are going in here, and I think between those 3 different wires, they're probably about the same thickness as this here, which has, incidentally, 3 different wires in it. But this is also shielded as well, so it's got a shielding on the outside and then the foil. So this is hopefully going to work through the cavities. I may get brave and actually use a chisel in here to carve a path for this to go down, so that way the pickups can actually be adjusted to a usable height. So thank you all so much for those of you who are in here already. I'm not going to waste too much time. We will do a before and after, so I'm going to play this thing for a few moments so we can hear what it sounds like now, and then go back to it later and see if our opinions about how this guitar plays and sounds and stuff like that is changed. Like I say, at the moment, it's kind of agreeable. What I mean by that is it still sounds like doo-doo as a result of the pickups, but it stays in tune like it's supposed to, and it honestly doesn't sound horrid anymore. But, you know, we'll just listen to it for a moment. Right, we know it sounds good. Let's get it into the clean zone and see if that makes it any different. Not bad. The neck is what sounds kind of like a toy on this thing. Middle position. Alright, so we got an idea. It's got a sound. It sounds like doo-doo. I can't say it sounds like doo-doo. It doesn't sound horrible. I'm not a fan of the neck pickup. Oh, offset. Dude, thank you. That was most gracious of you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Did I hear a metal sound? Then is this the body or neck alley, Luke? It is, well, a metal sound. I mean, this amp, if that's what you're referring to, gets pretty heavy. It does get pretty heavy. I play absolute BS, so nothing fun there. So the body and neck on this thing, as I understand it, is mahogany. I want to say that this is like a $250 guitar or something like that. And I'm about to put $150 worth of parts on it. So whatever you want to call it, right? This is going to be interesting. Keep the questions coming. Do talk amongst yourselves. There's at least a few of you. Oh, no, the actual guitar. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe I bopped on something and it sounded like metal or whatnot, but all I did was drop the bridge, literally like 1.5, maybe not more than 1.5 millimeters, to be honest. It was just a little bit high on the action. And then, you know, I played with the pickups a little bit because obviously they were too close, but like you can see here that the pickups just kind of go at an, well, not so much this one because I actually had to raise it a little bit, but the neck pickup, that's as low as it goes, and it sits at an odd angle like that. Not because the angle of the pickup ring, but actually because of the cable that goes through over there. So the cable is like literally right in the middle of the route pocket. It's horrible. All right, let's get my special tool. We're gonna destroy yet another set of brand new strings today, because why not? I guess I could reuse them, but I'm not gonna. That's just lazy. We're gonna give the world's most authentic guitar a proper proper chance. Acoustically, the guitar doesn't sound all that bad, to be honest. Like I would take it. Again, it's not the world's greatest guitar. It's just the world's most authentic guitar, okay? I almost feel like I'm going to hold this time, and I'm going to do this to make it so it doesn't hurt me. All right, let's see here. See, this fits on there really nice. I'm hoping that the new one will fit that nice. I think we'll find a way to do a giveaway on these parts or something like that. Because I'm sure these parts, they're good parts. They're just not great parts. When I say good parts, I mean that they work. How's that? They're not beat up. They're not destroyed. They're just not high quality. But maybe somebody out there has parts that are way worse than this and would want something. I don't know. I'll pay for the shipping even. Okay, so we got that. Let's see here. The pickups, now that I've potted them, are a little bit better. The neck is still a pile of crap. The bridge actually kind of came to life a bit. I'll give it that much. But, all right, let's get this thing off. So I did take that wire out, and now, of course, these things are apt to fall out. You can kind of see that when there jiggles around a bit. I am going to take these off as well, because these things are absolute piles of doo-doo as well. It's kind of, I don't know. Hopefully I don't have to replace the actual pins. I'm hoping that they're just going to drop in. I'm probably not going to get that lucky, though. let's find out right now how lucky I'm actually going to get. I kind of just want to know how lucky I'm not going to be. Because, you know, it would be too easy if they just went in, right? Let's see if I can do this without dropping everything all over the floor. Another reason I like this one here, you can see it comes with a special tool. These ones have the locking bridge, so this, you know how this one I can just able to lift it off. Well, with the pins that it has, which, let's see if I can get them out. You can use, oh, that's kind of interesting how they did that. But with these pins, inside of the bridge, it's got like a little set screw, so you can lock it on there. And it does not use a wire, so there's nothing to vibrate there. And something else to note is if you look on here, the little focus, the little things for the strings, the little dimples for the strings are small, or smaller at least, which is mo better than these ones, which are, I mean, deeper than the freaking Ariana Trench or whatever. So... all right, yeah, and this gold on here is a lot nicer gold too. Quality-wise, you can kind of see what we were working with. This is the new one on the left, and that's the toy on the right. Or this is the new one on the right, toy on the left there. You can kind of see this one's a lot nicer. But does it fit? It should. They're all pretty much universal. Because I don't think I need to replace that bottom piece. Survey says, yeah, I really kind of wanted to keep with the gold motif. Part of me wants to change these out as well, but that is a dangerous, if you don't have to take these things out, you're better off not, because if you wallow out the hole, or the new ones that are going in there are not the right size, which... more than likely they're the same size, but generally once you put it in once, you don't get a second chance unless you get one of these things that is oversized. And being that you're never really going to see that part down there, I'm just going to, you know, screw these ones in and call it a day. Now the other big question is, will these ones fit? I'm getting the feeling that they will with the luck I've had so far. It does use the oversized pin, which isn't ideal. So you got this ginormous, it's the same size as the back block, to be honest. I mean, so it uses the same parts for all of them. That's how you know it's cheap. But this one also has that same size. I think some of the actual like Gibson ones use this, you know, where the screw that goes down into the wood is that size. So we got lucky in that we can... Are these even the same size? Yeah, those are even the same size. So this is the same size as the one that came out. The one that came out actually isn't all that bad, but I like the thumb wheel. So we're going to use that. Just cause. All right. So I've got some extra pins now. Maybe what I'll do... I have another guitar that has an absolute pile of junk. Stop bar setup. It's not set up for gold, but maybe there's a way. I don't know. We'll see. I did order another set of the new brand, the Geiger or whatever you want to call it. I did order a new set, and that new set will be for another guitar that we'll do some project work on later. Not today. We're not going to do that today. We're not going to go crazy, okay? We're not going to go crazy. All right. So let me put these in here and away. And you. Boop-doop-doop-doop-doo. Doo-doop-doop-doop-doo. Where I put that last one? There it is. Yeah, the freaking... whatchamacallit, it's already trying to pop out. This one here. Just moving it around, it's popped out. It's like weird magic. Like you can't get it in there, but yet it will pop out, no problem. There it goes. Got it. Somehow or another. But all right. Now the last question. Yeah, Geiger. It's got Geiger written all over it. Will this fit in this width here? It is slightly off. I can't tell where it's off. That's not to say that it won't go on, but let's see where it's off at. Oh, cool. Cool. All right, I didn't see that before. All right, if you look closely in there, see that little set screw right there? It's got a little set screw, so this one doesn't pop off either when you take the strings off. That is kind of cool. All right, well, see? It shows how much I was paying attention when I was looking at the thing. I was like, man, these things look like they're the same width. All right, cool. All right, so you put that on. You immediately drop the Allen wrench, because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do. And then let's see if we can get these things on here. And of course, the way that they do it, you're going to end up scratching the paint, assuredly. I don't know that I need to put these things on right now, but I kind of feel like I may as well. Come on. Cheese and rice. Oh, there's the wife. She doesn't actually look at my status. Hello, wife. You are live again.
Wow, live again, huh?
Yeah. What's going on?
I just got back to the room, and we just got back from downtown and had that amazing dinner and
Cool.
had some bougie dessert.
Aren't you lucky?
I'm ready to call it a night.
There you go.
I'm gonna get some work done and answer some emails and then check out.
Sounds like fun.
Sessions today were awesome, and I made some really good connections. And
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
As well. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm just doing fun stuff here with a group of people that are probably like, what the heck is he doing?
Well, guide them properly and have a good time.
I shall.
All right, I love you, and I'll talk to you in the morning.
All right, I love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. I've only got a couple days left, and for whatever reason, I need to put a little bit of hair around this thing, so I can't find a freaking hole. Sorry. The wife, as I mentioned the other day, is in D.C. for some work function stuff. She went out to dinner with one of her coworkers, and they went to this really upscale, like, sushi joint that's over by the White House or something, I guess. I guess I didn't need to put that on yet because I don't know what height I'm going to put these at. I also want the screws to be straight because, you know, anal retentive nature of my being. I want the screws to be straight. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Hey, what do you know? And not that it matters all that much, just saying, but they're at least at the same angle. I'll let them live like that because they're at the same freaking angle. All right, enough of that crap. Let's see here. Where did I put that wire? Did I put it back in here? I did. I'm going to put this wire back in so these things stop trying to fall out. All kinds of fun stuff going on right now, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me because, you know, what else are you going to do on a Thursday evening? All right, I'm going to let that be. We're going to put that in its home over here. I guess we got to go the other way with it. And then we want this stop bar to go in here. All right, just remember when you get this, it's not actually Geiger. So yeah, it's the world's most authentic guitar parts. All right, there's this out of the way. I'm gonna set it there for now. We're gonna hold on to that for later. All right, one part done. Let's move on. Let's get the tuners off next. I'm actually gonna use a proper tool for that. I don't think these are the right ones. I'm pretty certain we're gonna want to get into these. I'm thinking it's gonna be this one. Survey says that I was wrong. Urgh. Are you my daddy? Yes, you is. Ah, come on. Murphy. All right. Murphy. So 10 mil. Imagine that. Everything's freaking 10 mil. Never isn't 10 mil. Just making sure you're not spending money. Yeah, right? Midwest. The body, as far as I know, is made out of mahogany. Which, you know, coming out of China and at the cost that it is, there's no actual telling what it's really truly made out of. But this one was loose already. How awesome is that? I didn't even touch that one. Tomorrow the nut comes, so I'll have a nut for this tomorrow. I'm using a Graph Tech. This nut is just cut way too deep, way too deep. It is a cool looking guitar though. I do like the motif for sure. I'm hoping the gold matches a little bit better. There's like 2 different colors of gold going on right now. But 106 in the morning for you? Oh my goodness. Damn, you guys are troopers over there. All right, let's see here. Ooh, almost got the thing to come off. Are we going to take any guesses on whether or not these things are steel? Let it go. I'm going to bet they're steel. Well, that's not a bad thing, but Balam. That's kind of, I don't know, that was oddly satisfying, if you will. All right, let's see here. Now I got to take the little mini screws off on the back here. This is going to be less than fun. So the unfortunate thing is there is going to be a hole at the very bottom for these piles of junk that are not actual Grovers. These ones are off to the side a little bit, so there is going to be an extra set of holes in here. That is kind of unfortunate, but with any luck... Ooh, are you the one I want? No, I don't like that. That's a little on the loose side. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the right size here. Yeah, that one I don't like either, although it did stick. Let's see if this one will play nice for me. Yeah, I like that one. I prefer that. With any luck, these holes will get covered up. As if I'm lucky, I won't destroy the freaking neck as I do this. This thing might only be held together by spit. We don't know. It did mar the finish already. You can see an outline of where the tuning head was, unfortunately. So while we're putting some better machines on here, it's not without incident, I guess. Ugh. I wish that they would clean off the polishing compound at the very least. Clean off the polishing compound. But no. It's not like it's a lubricant or something either. But, I mean, they're not horrid machine heads, the ones that came with. They still have the plastic on the back. That's a plus. I'm gonna see. I don't think I do have. So, I like Hipshot. I usually buy Hipshot. Now, I purposely did not get Hipshot for this because I didn't want to spend more on parts than the guitar. It is definitely a Chipson, yes sir. But it's the world's most authentic Chipson ever. Just so you know, it's the world's most authentic Chipson. Just so you know. Properly made in China. CE distribution even. I don't know how they pulled that off. Don't worry. We're about to make it muy auténtico. I'm going to see if I can make it even more authentic. If you wouldn't mind, thank you. Let's see here. Can I get it? I got it. Oh! Oh, that is evil. Oh, guess what? Oh, who would have thunk? That is so amazeballs. So underneath this sticker, This is not, it's not made in China. This is made in the USA, baby. Ah, that is some bold stuff right there. I've never seen that in my entire life. It's not even centered on the neck even. That is some crazy stuff. Lord knows how many guitars have that very same serial number on them. I told you, it's the world's most authentic guitar. Somebody at the Gibson factory right now is pissed at Luke. Disclaimer, I did not buy. But here's another bad thing too. This finish is absolute child's play. I'm scratching it, you know, like putting marks in it with a, you know, a fiber cloth. So you can't even rub this stuff too hard. But that is amazeballs. But yeah, this thing is an absolute pile of crap. I can even twist the headstock with where it's at. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing ever fell and it literally just tacoed on me. Oh well. Can't say we didn't try. That is funny. I can't believe they actually put Made in the USA on there. It just became a member. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I will be putting more content in the member only segment. I was trying to save it as more like the what would you call it? Like the preview channel, like see it before everyone else does kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to use it more for. I thought about doing like this whole segment of it in there, but I was like, nah. We're gonna let the world see the most authentic guitar known to man. Oh my gosh, that is. I've seen some things in my day. That is a first for me. This was a gift. Just, I want to remind everybody, I did not purchase this guitar. It was gifted to me, okay? Just to clarify, I did not purchase this guitar. It is new, but it was gifted to me. I like these. These are actually really pretty. I don't like that they have Geiger written all over them, but whatever, that's cool. But they feel good. They actually feel nice. So I will accept them. I will accept them. But as you can see, I guess it doesn't matter which way I put it. If I put it that way, yeah, we're going to end up with some extra holes. So that's where the old one went. That's where the new one's going to go. And I was saying earlier that I usually like to get hip shot. I've got 3 different things in here, but I don't think these are the 3-on-3. This is a set of piles of junk ones. And it looks like I did do a 3-on-3. Ooh. Wait, are these? Oh, these are hip shots. Shoot, I don't even know my own stash. Okay. So I have a 3-on-3 hip shot set in here. Who'd have thunk? I didn't even know I bought them. Shows how much attention I pay. But they're not gold, so. I know this isn't a 3-on-3. I usually get this 6 in line. Okay, yeah, this one doesn't have the whatchamacallit. And I'm gonna guarantee, ooh, this one feels full too. I know one of these has bull crap in it. So these are not hip shots. Yeah, these are absolutely not hip shots. I don't even think they're 3-on-3. But I don't have the plates. I was looking for the plates to see if I could utilize them for this. But I don't have them. So nothing to worry about. Good to know that I have a brand new set of hip shots in here that I didn't even know about. Oops. Okay. Well, let's see here. It doesn't say which side it is, does it? I guess it doesn't matter as long as it works, huh? Alright, I'm just going to put them in there so they all face the same direction. At the very least, they're all going to face the same direction. And I'm almost positive this has to be what it is. So, there. Damn, that hole's just a little on the big side, isn't it? Doesn't even want to stay put. What a bummer. It's a made in America guitar with all China parts, okay? sand the back of the neck down. I don't want to do that though. I don't want to. I'm not too stuck on like that whole, what do you call it? Like the smooth glassy neck thing. I mean, it is a thing. Don't get me wrong. Like there's nothing like a nice smooth satin backside of the neck, but I'm just going to kind of get these started. I want them to hold position while I get these things aligned to put the screws in. Part of me is debating even bothering with that, but I don't tend to beat up on my guitars too much, but that doesn't mean that these things aren't going to move. So let's see here. Let's get these things kind of flat because I want them to be nicely spaced and stuff. All right. I know I'm off camera. I apologize. I need to get a bigger table. And I need to move the camera up more to get a larger shot. But when I was doing the build for the amplifier side of things, like most of the time in this general vicinity here, like there's only where my thumb is that you can see poking out here on the left of the screen. There's literally my hand width worth the space there. And then what you can see right here, same. Like there's literally only a hand width worth of space left. So you're not missing a whole heck of a lot, is what I'm getting at. But it would be nice to get a larger shot. But I was trying to make it so that way the actual build content of the giveaway amp and all that jazz, most all the stuff I'm doing is right in here. I was trying to make sure that that had the largest real estate in the camera view that you guys have. That's all. But thank you, Offset, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Every little bit helps. I don't know which membership you got. I'm hoping it was the $1 one, just so people know. I do have a couple different tiers. The first tier was kind of meant to be more of a joke. So the $6 tier, I never thought anybody was actually gonna, like become a member. So when I created the account, there's an old song and an old joke in my band that we had when I was with, I actually used to play in a band with Synaptics up there many years ago. And the $6 was like a huge deal. That's all you need to know about it, was that $6 was a thing at one point in time. And I don't think these things are ever going to align because they're at a curve anyway. They look straight to me. I don't even think, I am so positive that this stuff is so thin that I don't even think I will need to pre-drill the hole. So I'm going to take the screws that they give me. I'm going to put them in there. And I'm going to just do it. I've had them break before though. So this is probably a big ask, but see how deep these things are. These look like pretty long screws. And they won't go through. It'd probably be best to honestly pre-drill, but I have had them break on me before putting them in. But I'm gonna imagine that this wood is so soft, and I'm so skilled at this now that I don't have to worry about it. We're just gonna work them in there nice and slow like. And as soon as it feels like they're getting a little too sassy, then I will slow my roll. But mahogany's generally pretty good about taking screws without provocation. There we go. That looks close enough. Yeah, whatever. All right. Let's see here. Let's just keep on moving down the line, I guess. I want to try to actually get it in the center of the hole, of course. Sorry, I know it's quiet right now. I am walking and chewing bubblegum at the moment, literally. I don't know what it is. I am hiding and obscuring everything from you while I try to get a screw to thread in. I apologize. There is like a hard spot in this neck right here. It does not want to go in. It's probably not wood right there is what it is. For all we know, this neck is made out of freaking plastic. Let's see if I can find a miniature screw or a drill bit that's small enough to be a pilot for these things. The smallest thing that I got is like one of these, and that is pretty small, but it is too big. Great for starting, I guess. It'd be a good starter. We'll run it as a starter. How's that? Because whatever's going on, this thing does not want to go in. See, that doesn't feel like finish. I don't know what they put there, but it doesn't feel like finish or wood. There is wood there. I think they used body filler on parts of this guitar, based on what I just felt. That was hard enough that I kind of feel like it's possible there was body filler or something right there. The guitar might not actually be made of mahogany. It might be... have you ever heard of that Paulownia wood or whatever? Paulownia is an interesting wood. It's actually really cool as a material for guitars because it's extremely lightweight, but it's also, what's the word for it? Sustainable, like it grows really fast. Which is great for guitars because it's sustainable. But it's also really, really soft. They say it's a hardwood. It's not a hardwood. It's just it's a nice wood. It's very resonant. My red guitar that I play on occasion, the red Telecaster, is made out of that material, and it's kind of hard to find these days for guitars. It's weird. Like it used to be a huge deal many years ago, and now you can't hardly find it anywhere. Just want to make sure these ones are nice and straight. It's kind of hard to tell, but see what I mean? Just like, it's kind of hard to tell. They're actually kind of in a good spot. It even makes it more difficult to tell because the Made in USA is so far off the center. It's like... Alright, come on now. I'm just going to go ahead and go through all these now. Well, there's real wood underneath there, I'll give them that. I wish I could tell you exactly what kind it actually is, but it feels soft enough to be mahogany, but Lord knows. That one spot was a little freaky. It did not want to go through the finish. Alright, they even give you an extra screw. I'll be danged. Oh wait. No, they give you 2 extra screws. Unless I grabbed one from the other pile, but I don't think I did. Always good to keep those separated. Gotta keep them separated. Hey, hey. Yep, they give you one extra screw. How nice of them. Alright. Let's get one more around on these. Make sure that they are tight. Some ooga-doogas. Some ers. That's how you know it's tight, right? You get in there and you're I'm going to keep this out. I think I'm going to need that again in a bit. Let's get this guy. Look at that. Oh, you guys can't really see. I'm sorry. Look at that. My made in USA guitar. What is up, Low Budge? How you doing there, my man? Welcome back. All right, so we're going to place this over here. And you can see I bought a set of gold hardware even. Just because. Did you see Low Budge, the world's most authentic American-made guitar? Made in the US of A. That is so blasphemous. I love it. To clarify a few things, I don't love it for the reasons you think I do. I love it for the, I guess you can call it like the joke factor or the FU factor, I guess is what you would call it. I don't love it for the industry itself. It's not exactly a good thing that they're doing that. I mean, IP being what IP actually is, I understand how frustrating it would be for somebody to like look at my, my amplifiers over here, let's say, and then literally start finding a way to reproduce them themselves at a third of the price or something. So, I understand the IP conflict side of this, so I don't want you to think that I take that for granted. But at the same time, there is definitely a level of funny in it. So just to clarify, this is a Gibson Les Paul Custom with an ESP neck and a Telecaster body, because that's what everybody needs. Hells yeah. All right, so we're gonna try to get these electronicals out of here, and it is definitely mahogany. It's a mahogany body for sure. I can tell just by looking at the area down there that they did a horrible job like routing out. It's, instead of like finishing it all, they just went kind of real quick around each of the pots, and that was good enough. I don't even think they're all at the same height. It's kind of funny. Like this one here is deeper than the other two. They're absolute piles of junk pots. They feel nice. I'll give them that. Like, there's nothing wrong with how they feel. They didn't have any noise when I used them, so that's cool too. Whatever. Just, yeah, all kinds of wow on this thing. It is what it is. So I'm going to undo some things here in hopes that we're going to be able to... There are only 3 wires for sure. And I'm going to make it so that I can pull this all the way through. I'm actually even going to pull this one off. Come on, baby. Come on. And then I might even see about tightening up. Golly, that thing is in there. So that center lug has got like a 1/4 inch thick piece of plate or whatever. So you really got to get the heat in there. Come on, baby. There it goes. Haha. All right. I definitely don't need that up that hot anymore. And, okay, we're going to put that there. We got that. I think it might just be worth it for me to beat it to the punch and undo all the pots without trying to melt everything again. I still got to have a little bit of heat, however. All right, so there's that set. And that's right, there's 2 for each one. I may even redo the order. So right now, the pots are going to the volumes first. And then from the volumes, they go to the whatchamacallit. I don't know that it matters really either way. I'm just trying to think of which one's going to have the least amount of wire in it, I guess. Which I suppose the way that they did it, I don't know. I guess it is shorter to come here. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm just a dude. But I am kind of being brave by actually taking all these wires out. I'm actually assuming that that thing is going to fit in there and not give me any guff. Jeez Louise. Do I want to? Do I dare? I might leave that black wire. I don't know. Let me turn that back down. All right, let's take these pickups out. The obviously ebony neck. That's probably not actually made out of ebony. Now, I did not buy new pickup rings, and I don't know why. There was another set I was looking at that had the pickup rings, and I was kind of thinking about going with those, but then I saw these, and these just look like a better pickup. The other set was like an Epiphone set, like the Pro Bucker, and I was like, oh, okay, but then I was looking at the back of it, and like the quality of it just literally looked pretty much like these in here. So I was just like, you know what, I'm going to take a gamble on these Fleor or whatever the hell they are. Come on. Okay. Nice red wire, that PVC crap. All right, so now these have been potted, so that's kind of a cool thing, I guess. What's going on, Spence Electrons? I apologize too. I know that some of you have been sending me emails. I have read the emails. You can kind of see I've been busy just getting everything kind of going here. So, Brian, my buddy's been bugging me. Hey, I need these things from you. He's trying to help me do the giveaway. He's trying to help drum up some interest in that. So I need to get him some details, but here I am screwing around with guitars. Because, you know, priorities and stuff and things. I already know I'm going to like those ones a lot better. The screw is even shorter on them, so I'm just going to go ahead and go with it like that. I'm going to put these together like this and call it a day. All right. I need like a sideshow Bob for these things. I need someone else to like yap away. What I need is a Riley in the background, like just talking. For those of you who don't know Riley, he's funny AF, man. I laugh every time I watch one of his things. Not at him, literally I laugh with him because it's just his commentary is freaking hilarious. All right, there's one down. Let's try to keep those in their appropriate spots. Gimme. So let's see here. It's definitely different. Yeah, right? It's definitely a authentic piece. We're making it just a little more authentic, though. We're giving it some proper... So far, if these Geiger tuning heads, like, really pan out the way that they feel currently, like, I think they're actually going to be of high quality. High quality enough that, like, I wouldn't feel bad owning them. I'm still, like I say, kind of a hip shot kind of guy. I think hip shot kind of offers up, like, the best, what do you call it, like, bang for the buck, I guess. They're not overtly expensive for what they are. But they're also pretty dang good. So I'm just saying that's my personal opinion, but Pins are like buttholes, though. Everybody's got one. All right. So whoever wins this giddy up here will have nice potted pickups, potted by Legacy Amplification. If that means anything to you, I don't know. All right, I'm going to move this hardware over here. Not tempt fate getting it mixed up with stuff I don't want. I'm going to pull these out from this direction here and consider my options on whether or not I want to use that over there. When I'm looking at the thickness of all three of these, it is about the thickness of that single wire. So the question is, oh my God, look how high up they shot that thing. I don't know if you can see the hole. There's the hole there, and you can see they came at it from an angle like this, because the other one ends like, it's going through at an angle like that, right? But it's not even in the middle of the thing. They almost went to the freaking top. And then it shoots out over here. You can see up there. It's like almost literally at the freaking top. And then they go in from here. Like they could have shot down into the corner of the pocket. No, they literally shot in right at the middle. Erg. So I really, 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 really kind of wanna. I wanna. Do you wanna be my lover? Do you wanna be my friend? I'm going to take this one off. We're going big. We're going big. I want to not melt things, though. Come on. Come on. I'm going to turn up the heat here. We're going to get some of this on there. We're going to get that laid on there. Alright, and then that actually shares the middle. I gotta remember this goes to the middle. Let's get it back in there. Okay. Message retracted. It must have been good. What were you about to say? Were you about to tease me about how awesome I sing? Were you about to tell me, Luke, you're the most awesome singer in the whole world? I tease. Let's see here. I kind of want to. I'm going to turn that down. Actually, I'm going to turn that off for now because we got some time here. I am going to try to get brave because I would really, really like for these to be able to sit down in there and actually do something. I'm going to bust out a tool here that probably shouldn't be used on something like this. I'm also going to. I apologize, but to try to reduce the amount of stress I put on the neck, I am going to move this thing forward a little bit here. So the neck hangs off the edge, so all of my force is down in here and not, you know, pounding away on the body. This thing here is like uber sharp. I know it says DeWalt, never fear. This side I'm not worried about because I can shoot it right through there. But this side I'm going to just try to get this. I'm just going to try to make it so I can get the cable to fall down more into the pocket. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm removing weight. That's what we're doing. We're making this guitar muy authentico. Okay? That's what we're doing, okay? There we go. Now, hey, you mind my Dr. Pepper over there. Now what I think I kind of want to do is I'm going to carve a little trench. Ooh, that's crunchy. That's the finish, of course. I'm going to try to carve a trench that's deep enough to get me over to the neck, that's cavity there. It's probably a foolish endeavor of mine to try to do this, but I want to be able to not have the cable smashed. I mean, that would be kind of cool to be able to actually Drop the cable in. Okay, let's see here. What do we got? I guess I could have gone a little straighter, but whatever. It's definitely mahogany. It's definitely mahogany. Come on, baby. Alright, I want to get this side to pop off. There it goes. Alright, is everybody dying over here right now? Like, what are you doing? You idiot! Look, this guitar needs to be truly authentic, okay? That's all we're doing. We're just making it that much more authentic. And this is the only way I know how, is to do evil things to it. And, you know, now we know what wood it really is truly made out of, though. It is mahogany. I don't know how, but it is mahogany. There's that. Yes, I understand it is at a V, but my biggest challenge right now isn't that. My biggest challenge at the moment is trying to get it so that the cable will actually drop into that little pocket that I've created. So that's what I want to try to do now, is make a little area here. You can tell how much, like, I wish I had a grinder, like an angle grinder. I don't have a Dremel tool, alright? I just don't have a Dremel tool. We're just gonna forget about that interesting factoid, okay? I got routers galore, but not a Dremel. Alright? Alright, I'm gonna turn this thing over. And I am pretty certain that cavity will contain a wire now. And the hope is, so let me try to show you what I'm trying to do here. So when this thing lays in there, what it'll do, if I can get the wire to go through. Oh yeah, it goes through. Let's see, it'll crush down underneath the height of the pickup. I'm probably going to have to dig in a little further to the back. It's just tucking into the corner here. But then back here, I can get it to go down into the cavity that's down in there. You probably can't really tell, but there's a cavity down there. So we're going to try to make that all fit. Multi-tool, right? Yeah, no, I probably... Look, I'm gonna do it this way, all right? It looks hellacious, and that's kind of the idea. So, boo. I am going to work in on the hole. That's the spot that's actually kind of getting me right now. And it's pretty solid in there, I'll tell you what. There we go. That was a nice little chunk. I'm also trying to reduce sharp edges. And I'm trying not to hurt anything else. Because, you know. That's not bad. I guess if I wanted to be a little crazier, I could get like a drill bit and kind of just use the drill bit and work it in, but I don't want to slip and like snag something. I don't, you know what I mean? Like it's not the end of the world right now. The only other spot that kind of scares me a little bit is coming out of here. This wire is pretty fat, so it's got to fit down into that pocket and still miss the thing there. I don't know if that will fit that way though, will it? No, it will hit. Okay. I'm going to try one other little spot here to clear and make space for. Right down in there, what I'm going to do is just carve straight down. And see if we can do this without making it visible. And all that fun stuff. Let's see here. I want to go into. Come on, baby. Guess I could actually use like the right tool. Right tool would probably be cool. Don't be a fool. Wrap your tool. And do I dare? No, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to just go in. We're just going to keep it simple. We're just going to go in. So another thing I got to be careful is this is like a basically turned into a shelf right there, because underneath it, okay, that's just wax. Okay, good. So just underneath there, you can kind of see there's the hole right underneath there. So we want to make sure we don't, tear it up too much right there. All I'm trying to really do is make it so that the cable can drop down from this hole a little bit quicker, so we can get into that cavity and not get pinched by the pickup. It's really all I'm trying to do, is just make it so it can shoot over a little bit quicker. And I think that'll work. I'm going to get brave. I don't think it actually does anything. I'm going to actually take a little bit of beef right here out. Watch, everybody's going, oh my God! You just have to have faith, okay? I've built a couple guitars. They never break right here. Not unless you do something stupid. And I only do something stupid like once a week, okay? This might be that once a week, but shh, we don't, it's all good. We don't need to talk about that, okay? I know somebody out there is like, what the fuck? Why are you doing that to the world's most authentic guitar? Blasphemy. Who on their right mind would do that to a made in the USA Chinese guitar? Okay. I just want you to know I literally removed 0 material from the actual neck joint. All right? So never fear. I'm just trying to create a path for all that cable to fall down into. And it just sounds like more evil than it actually is, too. Hell yeah. Hells yeah. Now what I'm going to do is see if I can get the sharp edges off of here. There we go. Nice round edge now. Nice round edge. This side's already kind of edged out. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I just realized my screen brightness was on 10%. You know, you'd see me a lot better if you turn your screen brightness up. All right, so I want to do the same thing over here. This one's going to be a little less than fun to do. Same story here. This particular screw goes right into the freaking cavity, so I got to be careful with that one. But this one here is like way up in the sky over here. I know that this other pickup had a tough time with that, so we're going to try to get this to... we can at least get it down to the level of the floor there. They can actually turn out nice. Yeah, no, it doesn't take much. Like, where they put the holes, it was like they didn't even care. Like, if they put the hole in, they had to have put it in before they put the neck in, which means that they could have literally sat it on the floor of the pocket and just ran it in. But they could have ran it in literally from this angle all the way through. Maybe not, but from right here, I could literally see a point of entry there. Like, I know I have one somewhere. I do. Like, where did I put you? I have a long one here. There we go. Something like this, right? Like, they could have gone literally from there to there. Right? They probably could have gotten the ground in. But even if they didn't go from there, they could have come from this side, got in over to here, and then went in at this angle with that one. Like, they could have done it. I don't know how to explain it. I just think that there are some things that these companies do almost out of spite. It's just like, whatever. It's just a guitar, right? Maybe, I don't know. There's definitely not a lot of thought that goes into some of these things. But I'm just a dude. There's a reason I don't build guitars. I build amplifiers. I build amplifiers. And, you know, if I were doing I would never do this to a client's guitar, by the way, just to clarify. So if you're thinking like, oh my God, I would never send Luke a guitar of mine in my entire life, just know I would never do this to someone else's guitar. I'm only doing this because it is mine, and we have to make it more authentic. So what I want to do is try to create a path all the way over to there, because I really want that wire to freaking not be in the middle of this freaking, you know what I mean? But I'm going to try to also not freaking take any more wood than I absolutely have to out of this thing to do it. Damn. Yeah, it's some pretty gooey mahogany, I'll tell you that. Yeah. Damn. Okay. Okay. Let's get this out of my way so I can actually see. I have changed the tone of the guitar. So what we're actually doing, like I said, is we're creating tonefulness here. It's going to make the guitar even more toneful. We are getting rid of the tone wood in the right spots, like a violin, okay? Like we're fine tuning this thing so it sings like a violin. Okay. Sure, Luke, whatever you say. The Aerodyne. Yeah. Aerodynes are cool guitars. Man, that looks a little shot up in there now. How cruel of me. All right. That stands half a chance of getting down there. Again, I'm just trying to make it so that way the wire, as it pokes through, let's see here. See if I can do it here. So it's going to hopefully crush down. Ooh, that'll work really well, actually. So I want it to get down into the corner there, so when the pickup goes in, it's not literally sitting right on it. I'm not really worried about that spot there. There's not enough of the foot hanging down to really get bothered, I think, by that. And if it is, I can still work some material out. But now what I need to do is make it so it can shoot back up in through that other spot right there. There's plenty of beef right there. So now I gotta do the same thing on this front corner here. It's freaking awesome. I'll tell you what. Come on, baby. Do the locomotion. Where the hell's Riley at? I need Riley. I want Riley to get his butt back in here. Probably over at Andy's freaking channel watching him build the boat. Probably. I do not own a boat. There are a lot of things I own, but a boat is not one of them. Can't say I've ever had this thing to like own a boat for no purpose, for like no reason. Like I've never wanted to own a boat is what I'm getting at, for any reason. I'm not saying anything negative to the boat owners. There's a reason I'm friends with you. Because you got the boat. I don't. That's why I'm a friend with you. I'm teasing, but I remember as a kid, like everybody I knew who had a boat was always doing something to said boat. And it was like why? Like, do they not work that long or something? And of course, one of the family friends is like, well, you know why you buy a boat, right? It's just a hole in the water that you dump money into. I was like, oh, that kind of makes funny sense. And then I go and start building guitar amps. Funny how it works. Alright. I think I have a large enough cavity now that we can make this work. Stay. With any luck. I'm just going to try to make things look pretty now, because I made it look pretty freaking ugly. Alright, same over here, maybe. There we are. That's somewhat decent looking. It almost looks like somebody meant to do it. So now I got this trail that goes at least over, snakes itself around. I guess I can try to make this look a little bit nicer here. Hold on. Almost intentional. This is for the tones, okay? And now that I've done that, part of me wants to just finish and make the path all the way over, because may as well. Okay. It looks a little less unintentional now, at least. Sorry, tool. I have to resharpen that one later. That's not what you do with a chisel, by the way. Do as I say, not as I do, alright? What is that? There's like something in the middle of the guitar that looks like it could be metal. It's in the middle of the guitar. It's not something that I managed to find a way to embed into the wood somehow. It's like an inclusion almost. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, that's good enough. I have dug enough material out of my thing. Whoa. I'm just trying to actually break the neck off of this thing, because, you know, it wouldn't be a Gibson unless the neck got broken off. For those of you who do not know, sorry, I'm probably blowing right on the thing there. I do not own any Gibsons. I will be honest in saying that I am not exactly a fan of Gibson, mainly as a company, not so much the guitars themselves. I love the guitars. I think they're beautiful. They are overtly expensive, I think, for what you get value-wise out of them. But I understand that, you know, they're American made, they are cool, I'll give them that. That's not the problem. I can't see spending that kind of money. Now, here's the question. Do I bother putting that little piece back in and potentially screwing up the wood? You're never going to see it because the pickup ring is going to go over the top of it. So, I think I'm going to be wise. I will save it for a later date. I'm not going to put that in there, though. So now what we need to do is run a wire from one end to the other. And sure, that looks to be plenty long. Yeah, can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. I own 0 Gibsons too. I want to get a 335 really bad, but I probably will end up getting like a, you know, something else. Like I want to buy off of a friend of mine. I keep forgetting the brand that Samick makes, like their premium brand. It's like Bartley or something like that. I can never remember. It's like Benson or something like that. I don't know. I always forget. I'm horrible that way. All right, so you know what? I'm going to do it now before I forget. This knob is not tight, or at least it didn't appear to be. It is moving, so I'm going to figure out how to tighten it and hopefully not destroy anything. Nope, it's just turning the whole freaking thing. Because, you know, why wouldn't it? And I ended up scratching the top. See what I get for trying? Oh, now it's getting loose. You dirty mother trucker. Okay. See, this is the direction it actually wants to point. And it's honestly the direction I kind of want to have it, but I think that's the way I want it to be. No. Interesting. Okay. Okay, well, I'll put it back to the direction they kind of had it. And burp. Real show now. I kind of see what the problem is. On the bottom, they've got enough of the shmoo that you can't get it to actually seat. So I'm going to try something here. So the top is okay, but you can actually see, like, they got shmoo down in there. But it's also on the back side. You can see there where it was kind of crushing the shmoo. Well, that shmoo, oh, the pocket's not even like square. Oh, I see. So they tried to leave like this spot, it looks like, where it was thick. So there's like, it's uneven down there. So the hole has like this weird, I don't know how I can fix that. So there's like a step in the hole. There's like a little thing there that's on one side that is thicker than the remainder of the hole. So the thing wants to set crooked inside of it. You can kind of see on the thing there, it's got like shmoo on it, which isn't helping a darned thing. I see what they try to do, but this is a generic switch, of course. You know it is. It wouldn't be an American-made guitar from China if it wasn't. Like, they didn't even drill the hole in the center of the hole. So the spot that is thicker in there is like where the center of the hole actually should have been. But whatever, we're gonna make it work. We're just gonna put this in there. It was staying put well enough before. We'll make it stay put well enough after. But yeah, kind of a bummer. And yeah, I guess it doesn't matter with this thing. I wish they actually had like a tool for these where you can tighten them like proper without having to use like weird implements such as this. Because these just mar things up. Luckily, it's not exactly a high-dollar switch, and you can't tell that I marred it up. So, cool. We're going to leave it with that. Sorry. Sherry. I'm going to put this away before I hurt myself or something else. And I'm going to wipe off my space to try to keep the wood chunks from actually doing damage, because I think this finish is soft enough it might. Alright, let's actually do what we set out to do now, which is to run a wire. Burp. Excuse me. Alright, I put this wire right here. Can we get this to go? Shielding paint the holes? Nah. We ain't got to do none of that. Where's the freaking hole at? I know it's in there somewhere. There it is. We ain't got to do no shielding paint. What are you talking about? Hello, my name is Grant. I'm a legal representative of Gibson. Shh. Yeah, sure. Come and get me. Come and get me. Alright, and then you're going to go into there. Watch, nothing's going to fit anymore, like all the other cables and stuff I got to get in there. I'd be like, son of a... Alright. I guess I made it a little longer than I needed it to be. Alright, let's see here. Well, that will pinch down there well enough that I know it won't get in the way of the pickups, which that was the important part. The important part. So that makes me feel more comfortable. So you can kind of see there that the wire basically gets down there. So now I should be able to fit the pickup all the way down or down further than I need to. But the next question is, this one's the neck, right? Yeah, this one's the neck. I want to be able to get those other wires down through there. Now this is not going to help me at all. I already know this is not going to be fun. And I'm kind of feeling like I might have to put the other one in second. Because watch, this is not going to go. Let it go through! All the, whatchamacallit's like getting caught up on it. Let's see if I can do this. Do you think I can pull this off, everybody? That is a question. Oh, no. No. All right. Hold on. We're going to do a thing here. We're going to try something. I'm going to go back out with this. And we're going to put the pickup wire through first. And then we'll put the other one through. Because. But I can already see that this is going to be a challenge for this other side. Because I got to fit not only this, but both those other wires in there. Don't tell me this isn't going to fit. I know this is not thicker than those other 3 wires. It cannot be. I know that you can squeeze these things down and make them do other things, but you see what I mean? Like, I guess maybe they are. Back. It's not my day. I don't want to put those other ones back in, though. It's going to fit. It's going to freaking fit. It's going to be tight, but it's going to fit, all right? See? See? Worry not. Worry not. Now that last hole might be a little less than fun. I probably am going to have to figure out a way to get it to fit down in there. Okay, so now this is in there. I'll pull this through a little bit more. And it's going to pull the other one, of course. So why wouldn't it? There. And then... so what we're going to see here is hopefully the ability to drop this thing down all the way. How far? All the way. There. That is mo better. I can actually get it flat with the body. Okay. Let me show you what I mean, okay? So I can actually get the pickup to go down flush with the body. That is what we were shooting for, okay? Now, I can tell you that hole that's going through that way is going to be less than fun as a result of that, because if I can barely get these 2 in there, I'm not confident that I'm going to get this and 2 of these in there. Not confident. But I'm going to give it a shot, and if it all else fails, I will make that hole that goes through there a little bit bigger. Luckily, it's only like a 5-inch long hole. It's not quite that long, but certainly feels like it could be. All right, let's get this guy in there. You're first. Me first in the Gimme Gimmes. It's been a long time since I've heard anything of that band. Does anybody recognize or remember them? Me first in the Gimme Gimmes? This looks like it might actually do it. It will do it. I don't understand. There is more than enough length. Okay. So now what we're going to do, because this one is getting down in there, we're going to try to get this other one in. We're going to give it a shot. Okay, so black is the front. All right, so red is the neck. Black is, well, that makes it easy too. They give you a short one on this one. Okay. Survey says, let's do this. Get in your home. There's already been 200 views of this thing. Literally, people are coming in, seeing this pile of junk, and going, nope. And then they listen to me, and they're like, oh, hell no. So thank you guys for hanging out with me, the 10 of you that are currently in here. Oh, hell no. That's literally what they're doing. I don't blame you. You don't think I know? I know. I know. I'm not that entertaining. That's why I need frickin' Roily. Alright, let's see if I can get this thing to fit in there. This is not going to be fun. Because I got to get it to go like along the side of these things. What it is that the wire is trying to get down the middle of my frickin' hole. So it appears like there's no space in there, but there's... it'll do it. I know it can. Maybe. Don't make me have to make a bigger hole. Yeah, it's going to make me have to make a bigger hole. That's all I have to say about that. I don't know that I have a thing to make that hole bigger, though. I have some drill bits, but I don't know that I have ones like that. So this is like one of the bigger bits that I got, but that's smaller than the current hole that's there. I could be brave. This would be brave, all right, let me tell you. Let's see how brave I have to be. Ooh, that might do me good. Hold on a second while I get me some protective materials. I think that's gonna work. I don't know how much effect I'm having on it, but I can see wood chips. I know things are moving. Let's see here. Semi-confident. Too confident, probably. I don't know that's making the hole any bigger, though. I do feel like I'd almost have better luck using, like, one of these on an extension shaft, which I think I have something to make it longer. Again, it's a brave venture. See, it's a brave venture. That is bigger, and bigger is better, so I've heard. But don't you laugh at it. Okay. You come out of the hole, please. Thank you. That made it mildly bigger. I'm going to give it a shot first. That did give it a little tune-up all the way down. So I do see some dust particles. I am semi-confident that it's at least a millimeter bigger. And that might be all she needs. Madness. Spit on it, right? Yeah. If it were that freaking easy, it's about the motion of the ocean, okay? All right. Don't tell me I ain't got no balls. You've seen what I will go through to make something work. I've got big balls. I got the biggest balls of them all. I've got big balls. Who's got big balls? I've got the biggest balls of them all. All right, let's see here. Ooh. Ooh. I think if I did spit on it, it would probably go. It is going in the hole. That was all the difference. That made all the difference. Problem is, now I've got to freaking turn the guitar over so I can not have the wire push into that. There we go. Now I can probably pull it out. There it goes. Okay. Okay. Get in your home. I see it's doing its thing. Now, I don't know how much this is actually going to help me because I need it to kind of fit in that spot, but this thing here also needs to get in there. So, I don't know. I do need to pull some back so I can get it to suck in a little bit, if you will. So let me not kill anything here. And push a little bit back. Let's see if we can get this thing to fit like we want. That's honestly fitting quite nice like. I think with that amount of play there, we'd be alright, because that'll just go underneath the pickup. But let's see if we can get this thing to go down. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh yeah. See what we're playing with there? I don't know if you can tell, but between the two, it tried. It really tried. It really wanted to. Sorry, block button things here. But you can tell, like, we can get it to go down basically flush with the body. So there's all the dust and stuff that came out. Yay. Sorry, making a mess. I'm gonna try to get that thing to run the right way, because it did for a second go all the way down. There it is. It is all the way down. We got it. I got it from my mama. Trying not to cut into the wire though. It does kind of hang out on the wire a little bit there. It's probably not ideal that I ran it that particular direction, but it is functional. It won't go that far down anyway. We don't need it to. That would be further down than we need it to. All right. Yay! I'm going to be brave. I'm going to put the pickup rings on now. I'm not worried about the rest of it. We know that everything else is going to work. It's just a matter of all the fun stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and do some things here. We're getting closer, everybody. We're not quite 2 hours into this, and we almost have a functioning guitar again. So that's, I mean, come on. Come on, give me some credit. And apparently I'm getting better at these clickbaity headlines. Everybody was very interested in the world's most authentic guitar. But then as soon as they see it, of course. What's that? Is 2.4K standard? I forget. A standard value? No. 2.4, no. 2.7 and 2.1 generally are. But I can, well, and 2K. But 2.4, no. If you wouldn't mind, you pile of junk. Get over there. Thank you. 3.3 is a standard value. I think there's not a whole lot of standard values in the 3 range. I think 3.1 might possibly be. I can't remember exactly. It's not a common value though for a lot of what we do. in guitars. I don't know why. Usually you're only going to find them on the cathode resistor of like a preamp tube or something like that. Generally. Not exclusively, generally. No more, no less. Okay, so let's clean up underneath where the pickup ring will go in hopes that when we put it on and clean it up later, it will stay nice. Okay. Oh, this is going to be so freaking awesome. You guys, I'm actually really freaking excited. This is going a hell of a lot better than I thought it would. Which I know doesn't instill a whole lot of faith, but what I'm getting at is that I was expecting to have more problems with less solutions than what I'm currently achieving, if that makes any sense. So I am stoked. Now the question is, so this is the original size. That size is a little bit longer, but do I want to go freaking nuts with like an uber long one? Or do I want to go just longer? Let's see how many of each I got. I can use the other ones for the... They say that there's enough for 2 sets of pickup rings in here. And it seems like I'm just going to have to... Okay, well, that answers that. I think I'm going to go with these... Ooh, that's dangerous. I'm going to try this extra long one. But let me see how far down that's going to go. Because that is going to go all the way. I'm going to use the long one in this corner here where it's already stripped out. Because balls. And I'm going to use a normal length one in that corner there. Because I do have to be mindful of the fact that there is a stupid freaking cavity underneath it with wires. And we do not want to... you know, pinch those wires, of course. Ooh, that one's starting to get tight. All right, I need a better tool will help too. Where I put it. Said I needed it. There it is. So I'm going to work this back and forth a little bit here. It's tight. I don't want it to break. Again, I should probably pilot the hole a little bit, but it's so close. But we don't want it to break, because that would be ungood, see? If it broke, that would suck. There we go. Toit! Toit like a toiga. Alright, so we're going to get this one. Put it back. I kind of like the original ones because they do have a nice gold color, more so than these other ones I got. But these ones that I picked up definitely do fit the color profile of these original parts, or these new parts, a little bit better. Okay. There's that one. I don't want to go overkill. These pickup rings are not exactly high dollars, so I would imagine that you could pull these things right through. I think we could if we really, really wanted to. Alright. This one needs to go this way. I need to get this set out. Oh, joy. 9 of you? I'm not that boring, alright? I'm teasing. I know I'm boring. I have to concentrate, okay? You have to concentrate when you do this. This is like concentration stuff. So you don't talk interestingly. So I need frickin' Riley! Where's Riley at? That explains why I can't find it. I parallel 2.7 and 2.7. And just, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, there's a... there are ways. So I can't remember the mathematics on it, you know, off the top of my head, for like paralleling resistors. But yeah, you can parallel resistors to get odd standard or odd non-standard values. However, unless you need to be ultra precise, I don't see the point in really going there with it like you're trying to. Usually a few K either way. Well, that's incorrect. Some things are a little bit more, a little more precision is required, but I would say in some locales, oh my gosh, words, 1K either way won't make much of a difference. Now, as a cathode resistor, that you will notice because it's already such a small value to begin with. So I would agree with that there. As a cathode resistor, yes, you would probably want to stay pretty close. I would say then maybe 500 ohms would make the difference. But like a power dropper, I mean, you know, something for your power rail, I don't think 1K difference either way is going to make or break anything. The amount of current that's flowing through it isn't enough to really alter things to such a high degree where it's like, oh my god, it isn't going to work anymore. I can't deal. But you do have to, when you're tightening these things down, I want you to be aware that you're not necessarily having to crank them down so tight that, you know, things are going to literally get crushed to death. It's just holding a pickup in place. So they don't need to be cranked in there like nuts. All right. Let's get that tightened up now while I'm thinking about it. Oh, you can't see what I'm talking about. Sorry. The tuning heads. I haven't tightened them down yet, so I just wanted to do it while I was remembering. And my goodness, this is going to make me work today. All right. Okay. Note to self, do not ever drop one of these guitars. Like, I'm not kidding. They're so flimsy, you can bend the headstock. And that's why these things are famous for breaking the necks when you so much as look at it funny. And it you know, knocks off the stand or, you know, off whatever it is that you leaned it against. I have never owned a Gibson. I have an Epiphone. What would you call it? It's an SG, like the 400 series, but it's from the 1990s. So it's not quite as nice as the modern ones are. It's literally like a 4-piece body. I think the new G400s that you can get are at least a 2 or 3-piece body. This thing is like you got to use almost 2 hands to count the number of chunks of wood in this thing. But in either case, it's kind of a pile of crap guitar, to be honest, which is kind of unfortunate. But that is another guitar I need to put some work in. It's earmarked too, which is nice. I bought it from a friend of mine years and years and years ago because I kind of figured he might not have it later on in life. And I was like, you know what would be cool is if I kept this guitar for him, held on to it, and then later on give it back to him. Not sell it back to him, give it back to him. So, but as I've had it over the years, it just went into this state of unplayability. And it's disappointing because I don't want to give him a guitar that he can't freaking play. So in the near future, I will spend some time with it to make it, you know, a proper guitar again so I can give it back to him. But I just wish it, like, there's something about that era that was just kind of a bummer for him, I think. All right, so now I need to do the electronicals. Oh, Oh, this is the fun part. Fun part. Yay. Okay. So my understanding is these are pretty much like a lot of the Seymour Duncans. So the red and the white go together, the green and black go together, and then the black is the line or hot. What rectifier tube am I using? Are you answering? There he is, freaking Riley. About damn time you showed up. Oh, it looks like they already put it together for us too. So they already put red and white together. They already put black and green, or green and bear together for us. So they did a little bit of the work for us already. That's kind of cool. So they made it really freaking easy to kind of just do the job already. Yay. I guess I'm going to wire it the way that they did just because I kind of ran the cables that way, but you know, whatever. I believe if I wanted to turn this into a split coil, I would need to run those on a switch to a ground, but we're not doing any of that, so we're going to have to cover those up, and we will do that here in a bit. I am not going to cut these wires because they're kind of actually not a bad length. They almost shoot at the same length out of here. The thing that sucks about this is I need to go... The center shares the center here, so I do need to cut it shorter, but I also need to make it long enough that each of the different wires can go to their respective homes. So I need to basically strip it all the way back down to like here. I guess I don't have to do anything crazy. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it back a little bit because I don't need the amount of footage I got hanging out here. And I'm going to try to make it, I'm going to go a little on the long side. So, cut off 3 inches, darn. Now, this stuff is pretty tough. I don't really have proper strippers for it. I'm in love with the stripper. You guys remember that song? Anybody? Bueller? Ferris Bueller. All right, let's see here. Am I going to be able to get that to come off from that? I missed that spot by that much. I know you guys can't really see what it is I'm looking at here, but I'm trying to be gentle because I don't want to cut the jacket or rip it off too much, but I do want to... The odds of me getting this off without having to cut it down the length is pretty low, to be honest. So I'm gonna try to make it so I can. I'm just gonna try things, okay? But I want to try to keep the. I need to keep the ground together. The unfortunate thing is all the grounds are going to get lopped together because of that. Because of the way we're doing it. But it doesn't matter because everything needs to be on the ground anyway, right? Right. All right. I'm glad you didn't argue with me. Good. Okay, if you wouldn't mind, cut. But not my ground wire. I guess it doesn't matter. I could just go to the first one and then jump over. Which might be what we're going to have to do, to be honest. It's just, I don't know. Come on, baby. Come on. Shimon. There it goes. Starting to do it here. Now, I could apply some heat, I think, and the heat might be enough to get this thing to do what I need it to do. But right now... It is literally trying to, I think it did. It might have pulled all my wire out. Oh, man. That would bum me out. Let's see here. Let's see what we end up with. Hold on. It seems like it has pulled all my wires out. So I don't have a ground at the moment, which is gonna suck because that means I gotta strip it back a little bit further in order to get my ground back, and then we're gonna have to convert over. So, well, I guess my inclination was correct. We were going to have to do what I didn't want to do, which was try to, you know, perform surgery upon myself. Like I almost just did right there. I don't know if you saw that, but I almost performed surgery upon myself. But yeah, I can see all the wires in there, because why wouldn't I? Burn. So yeah, all my jacket came with it, is what I'm getting at. So all the things I needed to have are no longer there anymore. So, because, actually it did pretty good. It did keep some of it. Hold on. We got enough. We're going to make this work. So there's the foil that it broke, but let's just see how bad it's actually going to be. I might have gotten lucky. It didn't rip as much out as I thought it did. I'm not worried. I don't need this whole length. I just need a little bit of it. I literally need to get to this first pot right here, and then I can jump the rest of the way with the other pots. Or with more other wire. Ditter. You know what I mean. Pitter patter. Let's get at her. But this is definitely proving to be the type of wire that it was said to be. Cheap. There we go. I can get it out now, I think. If you wouldn't mind, thank you. Well, they made it easy for me in this regard. So we have yellow, red, and black. We know that we have black for our front pickup, right? Red for our neck pickup, black for our front, which means yellow is going to be our center conductor, or the one that we use to we'll use that as our main connector to the front. Does that make sense? I hope that, I think that makes sense. Alright, so I'm going to just twist this up a little bit here. And then what I'll do, yeah, that's actually worked out pretty decently. I'll be danged. Alright. Now I don't need all this stuff at the end there, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. I'm going to just cut it like right there for now. Put that there. So this yellow one here is going to be what goes to our center lug there. And then we're going to use the red one for our neck pickup, and we'll use the black one for our bridge pickup. And then we'll do the same thing over here. I got to remember what goes where, sort of. All right, sir. Okay. Let's get our iron back on. Put this away here for a moment. This is going to go there. Get that out of the way. Everything's looking pretty kosher. And golly, I wish they did this a little bit better. Here's what I'm going to do. I don't like the way they ran this guy. So this is the bridge connection here, which we should probably test. I didn't notice any problems, but it'd be nice to know for sure that our bridge or stop tail at the very least is at least touching that thing. So let's find out. If they did this right, I should be able to go into beepy mode, touch the outer jacket of the output jack, and get contact, but as you can see, I don't think I am. So what is that wire going to? Which just basically means that the strings are not grounded, and I am not gonna pull. That's kind of a shame. Based on where it looks like it's going, it looks like it's going to this one, which means I should check again and check the connection on that one, because that could be the case. Still does not appear to be that it is in there. Let's see if I can even see the wire in there. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. I cannot say that I see a wire down there. Maybe I see something that looks like there was a hole. I am not going to worry about it. For today, that's something we can deal with later. Right now, I didn't have any buzz problems before, so I'm not going to worry about it now. But it's nice to know that when we put our... At the moment, it appears that when we put our fingers on the strings, it's probably not going to stop buzzing. So a little unfortunate in that regard, but them's the ropes. I want to go up a little bit hotter because I'm going to undo something off the back of a pot. All right, where are we at here? 8 of you. Geez, I'm really screwing up, I guess. Nobody loves me. Riley, I need you to entertain people for me. You want to jump on? No. Oh, that's why it's not working. Okay, never mind. Disaster averted. It wasn't... gosh darn it. They really pissed me off by doing this. It may have actually been working, is what I'm getting at. Because it was grounded to this pickup, or that one there, not the one at the jack here. I am going to combine all those together, so chances are pretty good it actually did work. I just was an idiot and didn't think about the fact that these aren't all jumped. So while I'm thinking about jumping, let's do that now. So let's get some... I have one wire that I used here. That one will work for one of them. And then let's get another one about the same length. We'll use that on another one. We only need 2 jumpers in this case. Burp. Excuse me. Alright, so now what we're going to do is jump from this guy. And again, I realize I'm hiding from view on you guys here. My apologies. Okay, we're going to go from there. We're going to go down and into this one. But I want to get from this angle here. Alright, let's see here if I can do this without screwing anything up. I really hate doing it this way. Alright, that one is on there now. Okay. There's that. Now I need to get these ones back in, but I like to twist them because I will put them at the same spot. I think, in fact, I'm going to do something here. And it's actually not too bad. And yeah, I want to go from this angle here. This is going to go in the middle, but it's going to share. No, we're going to redo that one. I do not like it. Not one bit. Not one bit. So that one's going to get redone. There we go. Okay. There's that one. Ooh. That actually went kind of nice, I think. Okay. We're going to go like that. There we go, nice and fresh now. Cut that a little bit shorter now. We don't need a bunch of footage. All right, let's get our jumper for this other side done here. Do I go the same length? Yes, I do. That seems to be just fine and dandy-like. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to put it in the actual spot there where the whatchamacallit is. So, okay. Cool. I like that. Okay. And then we need to jump over to this other one and do the same thing. But I need to expose my wire first. Thank you. So you're going to go right there. No, I said you're going to go right. Sorry, my head's probably in the way too. There it is. Leave it there like that. Okay. I'd rather you not be in my spot there. Thank you. There it is. And let's get a little bit more on there, because why the hell not? Since we're already using the back of the freaking pot anyway. Alright. So, we're going to get this kind of go off in that orientation there. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so now we have the top of the pots all grounded together. That is our neck. This is our bridge. And they literally just did that as... How did they do that? So I got an innie and an outie. The outie, because they went to the volume pot first, so the innie side is going to be the pickup first, and then the outie is going to be this one here. So let's get those stripped off. And you. And you. Okay. I guess it doesn't really matter which way you go. Well, it does now because of the way that we wired it, but initially it didn't really matter that much. Take some of the heat out here because we don't need that kind of temperature right now. Okay. Oh, oh, you bastard. Okay, yep. Okay, and then I want to get this one. I don't know how I want to do this one exactly. I have a couple options. I think I'm just going to do it that way. So what I'm going to do is get the tip kind of done up real quick, and I'm going to work it all the way up and down here. We're going to make this all one giant freaking thing here. There we go. Woo-wee, that's still hot. All right. Damn it. 1/4 watt. 1/4 watt for a cathode would probably work. But champs are weird if you look at the history of schematics, yeah. Operating point shifts a lot with the higher and B+. I don't think they're that crazy, to be honest. I think it's just like one of those misunderstood sort of things. Like it's class A, and I think a lot of people just have a tough time with like wrapping their head around that. That's my opinion. I don't know if that's the actuality of it. I like Class A amps, I think, are just misunderstood in and of themselves. I'm not saying that you don't know what you're talking about, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like they're just misunderstood, man. Like, that's just your opinion, man. I'm just kidding, but okay, so that's in there nice and tight. Like, yellow is going to go to our center. Let me cut just a little bit of this excess off here. Higher voltages allows you to get higher output, and higher output gets into a weird spot because it's a champ, and they're really only meant to put out about 5 watts, and you can get more than that out of it, but at what cost? Okay, there's that, but I want a little bit more in there. I don't know. I've just never had any issues, I guess, with it. I have a 5-watt design too, and I used, I guess I didn't use lower than its typical voltages, but I used lower than typical voltages, I think. Because that's me, though. I like using lower than typical voltages. But it's just bias. It's nothing more than bias, is what I'm getting at. So if you go higher in voltage, you risk over dissipation. All right. Okay, there's that. All right, so now what we want to do is the black is going to be the bridge. So that's this one. That's going to go on the out. So that one's going to be in the middle, and I do not need this amount of heat now. And I know you're up there pretty high. It is a 6v6 though, and if you're using a JJ, I don't know if you're using a JJ, but if you're using a JJ, then you might be in some luck, because JJs can handle that higher voltage, or well, they're more able to, I guess you could say. I wouldn't say necessarily that they can, but they do. So it's just bias after that. But if you're really trying to build a period correct champ, then yes, the voltage absolutely matters, because it will change how that amp plays by having different voltages, of course. So yes, I guess it is important if you're going for historical accuracy and whatnot. Okay, there's that. Yeah, the fur over there. Okay, so next, we need to get the, let's get the hard part done first. I want to get the signal plugged in. Does that make sense? I guess, I don't know. Like, you should be able to, regardless of what the voltage is, like, you should be able to bias it, and it should work. If it's not, then the question is, what is wrong? Because the preamp doesn't really give a shit that much, I don't think. Okay, there's that. So this one is in now. So I just gotta get this other one in there, which is gonna suck. I can't recall off the top of my head, but you know, like a JJ is good for, they say like 500 volts. It's basically like a baby 606, whereas a normal, what I'm calling a normal, you know, 6v6 tube is only good for about 380 volts. But Fender was pretty notorious for overvolting things anyway. Did I get that in the hole? No. I have a hole there for it to go into, though. Where are that? There it is. Really? Thank you. So objectively, you want to try to, of course, stay in that ballpark, because, you know, that would be prudent for tube life. The next thing after that, though, is just your screen voltage. And again, depending on how you're trying to stick to it, screen voltage is important. I'm talking and chewing bubblegum here again. So what am I trying to get at with this? So the screen voltage is, of course, important. Duh. But it's still, all it does is help control dissipation. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really doing anything else other than controlling dissipation. This side is done. Let's get this side figured out. I'm going to go a little bit extra long on this side yet still, but I don't want to go crazy because this thing is pretty tight. So I'm going to go right in here. That'll work. Where am I trying to go with that? So the thought process on that is, like, if you need to tamp the tube down so it doesn't over dissipate and it's more controlled, you can go with more, or lower, I should say, lower screen voltages. But that comes with other problems, because it changes how the tube reacts. Plate versus screen voltage. So a guitar amp is a little odd because it's not exactly meant to be a hi-fi device, right? When you go by all the rules, all the hi-fi rules and stuff like that, like, yes, it makes sense that, you know, the plate's, you know, at 350 volts like it's supposed to be, etc., etc. And, oh man, I almost got myself again. And you know, you're at or below the freaking plate voltage that you're supposed to have, etc., etc., right? That's why they do all those freaking sheets that say, they always say 250 volts. Like, that's what they always show them at. So it seems anyway. But which one's actually correct? Well, if you're abusing the plate with voltage, the only thing you're really concerned with after that is dissipation. So you then need the screen to manage the dissipation. But you can see all that stuff. I guess you can't see, not see it, but you can measure it, right? You can measure how much the screen drops when you're giving the amp the big kerrang. Now, the nice thing about a Class A amp is that the amp is always using all the current, right? It's because it's on all the time, is what I'm getting at. So because the tube is on 100% of the time, the screen current doesn't really change that much, and the plate draw doesn't change that much. So they're just a little misunderstood, because it doesn't react the same way as like a, you know, a fixed bias, you know, push-pull amp does. I'm gonna see if I can do this. So if you are at the appropriate voltage for your output tubes, which it sounds like you are now, I wouldn't sweat it that much. Historically, they are just below the level of the plates. My rule is the screen should always be at least lower than the plate. No more, no less, whatever you want to take that as it means. You know what I mean? But more or less, the rule is simple. Is the screen below the plates? If the answer is yes, you're okay. Now, are you using more voltage than the tube was destined for? So are you stuffing 300, 500 volts on a 6V6 that's only meant for 380 volts? Well, then yeah, you better make sure that that screen is well controlled. Well controlled simply means that the freaking screen always stays below the plate. That's it. That's all that means. So you have to check out the dynamics of the amp while it's in operation in order to know that. And to do that, you just measure the screens. And then you can kind of get an idea. Well, is the screen lower than the plate at any given point in time? If the answer is yes. But it goes both ways too, because if the screen is really getting beat up and it starts dropping a butt ton of current, which it can do, you can have a situation where the screen starts dropping even too much voltage. So now you got a situation where the amp sounds funny and reacts and plays funny, not because of what the plate is doing, but literally because what the screen is doing. Which is why using really, really big resistors on the screen is generally not a good idea. Because you can get into that situation where at idle, when it's not doing anything, it's okay, right? So I guess what I'm saying, I'm not trying to tell you what you're doing is wrong. I'm just trying to say that the only way to know for sure what you need to do is to see what is happening and see if you can nail down what is going on when it's doing that thing you dislike. So one way to do that is, and in Class A amps is a little different because in theory, the tube is always on and conducting 100%. So the screen shouldn't change very much. And the plate voltage shouldn't drop very much or at all, right? It should be giving all the beans it has to give from the get, right? In theory. I'm not going to necessarily say it doesn't change, but in theory it shouldn't, because the current draw is at its max at all times. Like there's no current, there's no more current to draw because the tube is already always on. But if your tube, let's say your screen, let's say your screen is dropping more than 30 to 50 volts. If it's dropping more than 30 to 50 volts when you're giving it the big harangues, that's probably an indication that something else is going on. More or less that you have more screen grid resistor than you probably need. Which is probably why the 470 to 1K is just so standard. When you start getting up there a little bit further, it starts getting a little weird. I tried it once. I used a 10K because I wanted to drop it, significantly from my plate. And at idle, it was fine, right? I had the drop that I wanted at idle. But as soon as I started to play, the amp just started being a little weird. It just didn't do what I wanted it to do when I started running the volume up. Lo and behold, what I eventually found out was that when I was playing at full volume, imagine, the freaking screens were dropping like 50, 60 volts. Way too much. Way too much. because the plate was only dropping maybe 20 or 30 volts. So the ratio was like super far off. So I had to reconsider my options, if you will. So again, that's why you don't generally see large droppers between the plates, or I should say the center tap node and the screen nodes. It's usually like maybe 1 to 2K or something like that, maybe 4.7K or something. I hope that makes sense. All right, so now I gotta freaking figure out. I'm not concerned with the screen per se. I'm shifting the operating point left and up. Damn the freaking load line crap. Not knowing what your load line looks like, I wouldn't worry about it, man. It's a guitar amp. Does it sound good? Turn it up. A Champ doesn't sound really good, I don't think. Damn it, that stays hot for a long time. They get kind of barky, honestly. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're just barky amps, but at least my experience with them is that they're just barky. Especially when you turn them up. They kind of just do this thing where they burp almost at you. It kind of sounds like a farty, burpy kind of thing. Not bad, just a thing that they do. All right. Some of that has to do with the size of the coupling cap that they have too. Basically, when you're trying to stuff full range into something that can't really produce it very cleanly, that's just kind of the resultant sound that you get is just like this burpy, farty kind of sound, I guess. Okay, there's that. 3 wires left to go, and we can at least test the pickups here. Probably should have stripped these first, but whatever. I had to play around, so I did a basically like a Champ kind of design of my own. It's if you watch, it was called the Building It Better Than Fender Did series. Building It Better Than Fender Did series that I have on my thing. I don't really go into great detail about what it was I did, but you can see the whole of the amp, and you can kind of see what I did to it. I believe I used a 1K dropper, if I'm not mistaken. Voltage-wise, it's whatever. It's pretty standard for what's coming out these days. It was a Champion 600, so it started life as a PCB amp. So it's not an original Champion 600 or whatever they were, 400. I think it was a 600 is what they called it, but in either case, it wasn't that amp, the original. But I did a couple little modifications to it, but voltage-wise, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it wasn't too crazy. All right, so as I recall, I was talking about this yesterday, but whatever side that the switch is pointing to is the side that the connection is, and I was correct. So this is in the down position, which should be the back pickup, which is the bridge, and then that is correct. So yellow is our common, so that goes in the middle, so it's going to go like this. So I have black on this side, yellow in the middle, and red on the other side. So I'm going to start from our neck side. And let's get in there and connect. Thank you. I'm going to have to redo that ground. Go figure. Now we're going to get this guy. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to add some to here. Okay, so I got all that now, but apparently I needed to have a little more on this guy, and being that this thing is freaking brutal in there. Are we gonna go? No, really? Fucker. It's gonna make me work. Alright, son. I see how you are. I'll get you from this other side where I can actually pinch you in on it. Alright. There we go. Now it's actually in there. So, in theory, if I plug this thing in, I should get noise on each of the pickups. Let's find out before we go any further. Turn that down a little bit. Hopefully we don't get any buzzy buzz. Turn those up all the way. Okay. Tone control works. Center. That should kill both. It did. Tone still works. Neck. Tone still works. Yay! I know you guys probably couldn't really hear the popping through the amp, but there's popping through the amp. It worked. Citra used the metal is so thin. Oh yeah, no, that's how they save money. Come on, they don't use real shit. They use freaking that pot crap, freaking potted metal or whatever the hell they. It's crap, man. It's crap. What is it exactly you're trying to achieve, though, my man? I mean, I guess I don't know what you're trying to achieve. I guess that's all. My suggestion is, here's a hypothetical. You have, let's say you got 395 volts on your plate, right? Because I think that's what you said you had. I would shoot for about 385 on the low end. So that's 10 volts difference to 375 volts. That's about 20 volts. Like, that's probably too low. For a champ style amp there, it's almost like 5 volts different. If it's less than 5 volts difference, I would be a little more concerned. So I shoot for at least 5 volts. But if you can get 10, I think that's a good starting point below whatever the plate is. Now, whatever dropper it takes to do that from your B+, whatever. It probably only requires a 1K to 2K, maybe a 4.7K. When you start getting above 4.7K, start asking yourself what the hell is going on. Because it's probably not a good idea to continue to go higher. What will happen is you will get sag, because that screen at idle will be just fine. But as soon as you start to actually run some current through the screens, it's going to drop. It's going to sag, because that giant ass resistor there now is going to start dropping voltage. And that will affect anything downstream of there as well. That includes your preamp now at that point. So you want to try to go with as low a value as you can get away with for your screen node. Typically, not always, but in general. That's why chokes are so popular. And I don't recall exactly, but I think in the original champs, I think they actually used a choke. In the very, very original ones, the first ones. And then, of course, it was too expensive, so they started just going with droppers. I could be wrong. I can't remember. Don't quote me. But, don't quote me, boy. I ain't said shit. But, shoot for 1K to start. 470 probably on the low end. Whatever gets you somewhere probably in your amp, 5 to 10 volts difference. And then play the amp, give it, all the beans, turn it all the way up, and see what it does. Check the voltage on the screen and see how much it drops, and then check the plate voltage and see how much it drops. As long as the screen is always below whatever the plate is at that moment in time, you're fine. Don't worry about it. You're good. I would say that you have nothing to worry about with what your amp side of things is doing. Now, if it starts doing odd things like, getting blatty and farty and otherwise seeming to fall apart and collapse on you, Class A amps kind of sound that way in general, but more than likely, it's because you're trying to stuff too much signal into this poor little tube. And by too much signal, I don't mean too much volume necessarily. I mean like too much frequency range. You're like, yeah, Luke, shut the fuck up. I'm soldering. I hear ya. I'm just trying to help. I don't want you to spend the next 10 years like trying to hunt a problem that doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like hunt something that doesn't exist. Moving the load lines around, I mean, you can do that just by changing the output transformer a little bit. Like there's all kinds of different things you can do, but all right, so which way do I want to do this? I'm going to say that it normally goes, uh-oh. Are the things? No! No! Hold on. I guess I should have tested this earlier. It's just like ever so slightly to... What the... Bah! Hold on. Hold on. Hold on to the night. Hold on to the memories. Sorry, can't help myself. All right. We're going to figure out what's going on here. I don't see any reason why this thing shouldn't fit. Because this one fits like a glove, right? Barely. Okay. But why is this one so far off then? Let's see if I can do this without scratching them up. I don't know. If I were in a betting mood, I'd say that those are the same freaking size. Oh no, it is wider. No, it's not. It's like identical. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. I know that this thing has the whatchamacallits, which aren't helping anything. I can see that there's some burrs on the inside from the whatchamacallit. Let's see if going up a little bit higher gives me the angle of the dangle I need. Probably not, if they did this thing right. There shouldn't be enough play to affect it. Ho 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 ho! That was a brave move, because this isn't going to help me going down. So all I've done was raise those things up like 1.5 miles to give them enough play to shrink in the amount that they needed. Now I gotta, of course, thread it down and not screw it up. So let me get my nice little vessel here and see if we can do this. My hope is that it will work itself down and do two things at once. Bore out those holes for me and getting metal shavings all over the place, but also working the way it's supposed to do, like basically force itself to fit. So far, my dreams are coming true. All right. Now, how far down do we need to go? It is working. I'm not going to bother measuring it yet. I think I can go one more half a turn down on the high side here. Okay. That's actually going to work really nice, I think. All right, there we go. Yay! Everybody's happy now. I'm happier now. It worked. My cheek worked. All right. Again, if this were someone else's guitar, I'd probably be a little bit more careful than I just was. A little more respectful. But whatever. It's my guitar. I can do what I want. Whatever. I do what I want. All right. So I got locking tuners today, which I love, because that means I don't have to wrap the freaking string like 100 freaking times. So the way I do it is I get the hole and the pegs kind of lined up, more or less in line with the string. So I'll tell you. So okay. So imagine this is the tuning peg here, right? This is the tuning peg going all the way up. Here's the hole, right? The string comes off kind of at an angle into it. So I try to make it so the hole is just a little off center so that when the string goes in, it's already kind of kicked just a little bit. And then as you turn it around, that's all I'm getting at. And then I try to get them so they're about the same angle. And then I put the tuning pegs at the same thing. Now, because these are locking, that means I don't have to wrap them around 100 times. There are some differing thoughts on how to properly do these locking ones. I do it really simple. I put it through the tuning peg. Pull the string tight, like it's almost a pitch, and then tighten the freaking nut. And you don't have to freaking absolutely destroy the freaking string, right? So we can almost get pitch out of it, and it's just sitting in there. It should only have to turn roughly a quarter of a turn, okay? It does not need to wrap around 5 freaking times. It is a locking nut for a reason. You should not have to freaking do it. You know what I mean? It's not a normal tuner. Locking nut. It is a locking tuner for a reason. Excuse me. So yeah, you don't have to freaking go apeshit with it. And what you'll end up with is, after they're tightened up, you can see there. See how it kind of goes down at an angle? You almost got like London Bridge kind of thing going on. That is the string actually being pinched by the machine head's little locking pin. So that's how you know that the string is pretty much locked. I'm, of course, talking to people that do not have locking tuners. But if you have a different opinion, do put it in the doobly-doo there, because I wouldn't mind hearing it. But in my years of experience with them, it doesn't need to be very complicated. Dang it. I'm just going to try to scratch up my freaking stop bar, because, you know, why not? Okay. So again, to kind of clarify, I get it through the hole. I pull it tight. Not tight. I do put it in the nut, but I pull it tight enough to kind of get pitch and then lock it in place. And yes, I know I haven't cut off any of the things yet. All right, so now I got to get this side down. I actually really like these Geiger. These, as far as locking tuners go, these things are not bad. I would say they are almost comparable quality to the hip shots. Maybe not overall fit and finish, but honestly impressed. Considering their price tag, I think these things were only like 30, 40 bucks or something. They weren't much. Certainly not so bad that I had to sit there and hem and haw over it. It was like, oh, I can deal with that. The only reason I didn't want to put hip shots on here, like I said, is that it's going a little extreme considering what what this thing is. So, and this is going to turn into probably a shop beater for me, or more of a shop beater for me, I should say. Because I like playing authentic. Muy auténtico. Your screen has its own node and cap. Well, it should, yes. I hope it does. Because that is the cool way to do it. I can't, again, I don't know exactly what the original schematic is on those things, so I always put my screen node with its own cap and all that jazz. Dang it, get in your home. Okay, one more string to go. And I want to align you right there. Blah. That's not teabag. I will accept that. Alright. Okay. So there are all the strings inside the thing. You can kind of see they just shoot there. I already can tell for a fact that I'm going to need to go up on the bridge. So I went too low, so I'm going to need to go up. So let's go ahead and go up a little bit. So I'm going to go 1, 2. Oh, that's one whole turn, I should say. So there's 1, 2. One whole turn. That might actually be okay. Let's see here. Yeah, that's probably going to be higher than it needs to be now. All right, so let's go ahead and come to pitch. Oh, it already sounds better. It already sounds better with this bridge. It has so much more life. Now the smaller the string, the more wraps it's going to take. So if you can kind of see here what's going on. See how this one here is literally just starting to wrap over. This one's wrapped over a little bit more, and then that is wrapped over a little bit more yet still. That's what you're going to find going all the way down, is that the thinner the string, the more it's going to wrap around. These tuners are fucking nice. All right, let's oh, by the way, I was able to fix my snark last night too. If you take this, so if you have one of these and it does the little thing I was doing yesterday where it just won't stay put. If you take this little screw out right there that holds this one in place, inside of there's another little screw that holds the other swivel in place. Nice. I got my snark back. All right, are we gonna take some bets on how close I was? Let's see how close I was. D sharp. We were off by about a half a step again. Darn. I'm failing the last few days. It is so much more lively than it was before. This is a Geiger stop bar and tailpiece too. This thing is much more fun to play already. All right, obviously I need to stretch the strings out. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. All right. Ooh. Dude, that neck, man, it freaking freaks me out. I can hear it, like, I can see it, like, tacoing. It bothers me. Work it out, you pile of shit. That is not an F freaking sharp. Come on. Oh, I know what it is. These are 1 to 21. I'm like sitting there twisting on the thing, and it's like I'm expecting it to freaking get to the freaking thing quicker. I forgot. These are 21 to 1 ratios, or whatever the hell they are, or 1 to 21 ratio. So they're not like the 1 to 18 ratios that some of the other ones are. I'm like sitting here twisting. Why? Get there already. So that's kind of cool too. Again, like these tuners are pretty cool in that regard. I'm going to cut these strings off because I'm already tired of dealing with them, but this is a $10,000 custom shop chips in here for sure now. Yeah, there we go. Super clean headstock, no strings sticking out. That's the way I like it. Sounds right because of all that tone wood I took out. Right. Next question. How far off is the intonation? So here's the 12th fret. Huh. Wow. It comes... Ooh. I'll be damned. Out of the factory, from Geiker, the intonation was close enough to be close. Oh my god. So what do we got? I hate when I get to the thing quicker. Think quicker. Oh my gosh. I'm actually super duper impressed so far with my Geiker parts. I got another set of Geiker parts for something else not too long ago. Not impressed. Their knobs were not nearly as nice as these, but these are... So far, I'm very impressed. I am beside myself right now. I'm gonna adjust the height of the pickup is all I'm doing right now. Just kind of ballpark it at least for the time being. And because the bridge right now is like 10 miles away. So, all right. And I can already tell that, yes, they did do the bridge pin right, because I can... I'll be gall darned. That actually sounds pretty good. Wow. I'm impressed with that. These pickups, they're the Fleor or whatever. They're probably $30 for the set. They're not great, but I have heard that that last set that was in there did not sound this nice. I'm going to drop it back down where I had it because I'm starting to get crunch now. I don't like crunch. I like clean, so we're going to keep it where it was. I was going to see if I can get a little more bite out of it. I was hoping for a little more clarity. Wow. This is a new guitar, everybody. This is a brand new freaking guitar. Transformative. Oh, wow. All right, so the bridge needs to come up a bit still. So let's get that one a little bit closer. I'm going to have to use a different spring now on the bridge. I need to use a shorter spring. We've collapsed the spring all the way down. So whatever the bridge is. I'm going to drop the high side a little bit and see if I can get a little bit more out of the... Nope, that's all we're going to get out of the low side. This is so much better. I am not kidding. Here, hold on, let's get a view that probably makes sense for you guys. I am blown away right now. I'm actually highly impressed by my new guitar. My $10,000 Gibitelli. Now the neck is still a little on the hot side compared to the bridge, so I am going to drop the neck just a skosh to even them out in terms of level. And let's see what we can do there. I accept. All right, let's see what it does when we go the other direction now. Time to gain her up. Sure help if it were in tune again. New strings. The 1:21 ratio takes some getting used to. Ooh, hot. I'm not going to say it's the best sounding giddy up I've ever heard. It doesn't sound bad though. It sounds a hell of a lot better than it did before though, that's for damn sure. Now, oh, it turned itself off now? Yeah. Keep getting strings going out of tune. Still working itself in. Things a little bit. I think I can get away with going a little bit lower on the action. I feel like I can go a little lower. I don't know where I put that tool though. This is probably going to be one of those things where I got to split the difference from what I had before. I'm going to do this off camera. I apologize. This is also going to change the tuning again, which means I got to tune it again. Seems to feel a little bit better. Ooh, but that also means I gotta drop the pickups a little bit. That's a little too much oomph. Right there. How about that? Now the neck is of course way too much. Let's get that dropped down a little bit. These things respond well to pickup height. I will say that. They kind of do what they're supposed to do. They thin out a little bit. I kind of feel like I still got a bit much there. Let me drop it just a skirsh more. I like crunch, don't get me wrong, but I like it also be, like in order. How does that go? Oh man. Turn on. Work for me. Oh yeah, the A went out. And D was high. I'm blaming it on the nut now. You hear the effect? Cooper freaking Gooper. Oh yeah! It's still got some more work to do on this thing. It's still not perfect yet by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a much more fun to play guitar already, just by those simple modifications alone. Well, I guess one of them wasn't that simple. I still think I can lower the action a little bit more. I don't have as much buzz on my strings as I'd like to have yet. I don't mind a little bit of buzz, but I prefer, there's like a snap to it. The short scale length, I'm not used to that yet too. The way that it plays is a little bit springier under the fingers, I guess. This is the only guitar I own right now, other than that SG that I was talking about earlier, that is in that 24 3/4 inch scale length, or Gibson scale length. So I'm just not, I don't play that thing very often. I'm used to the 25.5 inch, the longer scale lengths more or less. So I'm a little too aggro on the things, especially up here. They did a good job cutting this nut. It's got the right height. Yeah, they did a really good job cutting the nut. G string's a little on the low side, but yeah, and the E string's a little on the low side. But there's clearance. As far as relief goes, I don't have enough relief now. I need to add a little bit of relief. That would probably help a little bit with some of the fret issues I have kind of in the middle. It'll keep it from smearing quite as much. Let's see here. Let me get caught up. What is that? Just tuned in, first time, showed the body. Oh, well, I've been showing it for a while, but you know, this is the world's most authentic guitar, all right? You just got to know this is the world's most authentic guitar. Did you see that? It's the Les Paul Custom, by the way, with an ESP neck and a Telecaster body. 'Cause fuck you! Right? This is that guitar. It was gifted to me. So 15 watt dissipation. That was supposed to be 13, but the vibrato is bleeding through without the screen cap. Oh, okay. Oh, that's yeah, this is a Chipson and a freaking half. This is like how to get all of them all at once. Like, how do we piss everybody off at the same time? Easy, you make one of these. I'm going to go ahead and put the covers back on because I know I'm not getting back into this thing anymore. I'm quite smitten with what I got here. Clean off the back of this a little bit here. Oh, and just so you know, this is how authentic this guitar is, by the way. That's how authentic we are, okay? This was gifted to me, by the way. I did not buy this guitar. And boy, oh boy, is that not going to fit there, is it? Okay, that hole's lining up, that hole's lining up, that hole's lining up. That thing barely fits in there. All right, let's get some of these parts here. And screw it back in. Because of my super authentic, super awesome, cool guitar. All right, right, I don't want to get too many of the dingleberries from my cat over there. Hey, you knocked that off. There we go. Ta-da. I find it very odd that they put 3 screws on this guy here, right? This piece that is obviously not going anywhere, but they only put 2 on the actual big piece. This guy here. But they have the boss for it. You can't see it because I got the freaking thing off the furniture. They got the boss for it right here. So I could drill my own hole and put it there, I suppose, but we're not gonna, you can't bother with that crap. You got no time for that. You got time no. Alright, now I'm gonna wipe down the backside here. I never did touch the backside, I guess. This thing's relatively quiet too, considering that there's not any shielding in this thing. I guess, I mean, that's what humbuckers are supposed to do, is make things quiet. So, I guess it's only suiting. Alright. Well, I think we've kind of wrapped things up, obviously, to the degree where we can start wrapping things up. If you're new to the channel, thank you for popping in. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, well, stick around. There's always more. Other people that, if you're into this kind of stuff, check out Riley 0187. He's got a cool channel. Offset's got a cool channel over there. Spent Electrons, he's going to start making cool content soon. I know he is. I don't think you have... Do you have anything on your channel there? Spent Electrons? I can't recall. As I recall, you didn't have anything yet, or very little, but I'm hoping you're going to post some more. But check him out. Grant Us Glorious Tone is probably a worthy, you know, somebody worth going and visiting. I know Offset doesn't want to hear that name right now, but just so you know, I do get your guys' emails. So just, I do read them. I just haven't replied yet. I will reply. And no hard feelings, obviously, but thank you for popping on in. I appreciate that for shizzle. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of doing some cleaning up here because my awesome $10,000 freaking super duper custom guitar is now ready to play and be awesome all day. I've only added a couple more scratches to it doing what I've done. Darned. I'm kind of bummed. There's a couple scratches on here. I don't think I put those ones on there, but they are on there nonetheless. I will wait to put those, or to thread those in deeper, or actually lock them in place until after I'm absolutely happy with where I got the neck at. I'll probably wait until I get the nut. The nut comes tomorrow. I don't know that I'm going to do another live tomorrow where I show you how I install a nut, because I think I've shown you how much of a nut I am enough that I don't need to bother you with how much of a nut I am. There it is. I knew I put it somewhere. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you just are. Alright, let's see here. I want this so I can put it away. Burp. Alright, we can put some 2 wheels away. And let's see here. This can go away, that can go away. But yeah, thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. We have quite a bit of content. If you're into building guitar amplifiers, that's more what this channel is about. Not so much these little tutorials, if you want to call them that. This is just me kind of furking around and having fun, or trying to. But then also show you just the awesomeness that is this this guitar right here. I want to keep these in a separate case. I'm gonna hold on to these. I don't know how I want to do this. When I figure out how we're gonna do the giveaway for all these parts here, we will talk again about that. But for now, just know the intention, if you haven't already learned about what's going on today with all these extra parts, they're brand new. They've only been used for literally an hour. I'm just going to give them away, but I'm not going to do it today. So. All right, cool. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that, Offset. I know it's gonna work out in the end. I haven't responded to you yet. I will fill you on some other data that may or may not dissuade you. Probably doesn't matter either way. Realistically, I know that you're over it. So, speaking of John, where the hell is he right now? This isn't really the giveaway video. So for the newcomers here, Mr. Troopin, we are doing a giveaway of that guy there. That was the amp I was playing just a little bit ago. And if you're interested in it, the rules are in the description of this video. But if you want to know a little bit more about what that amp is, what, all that fun stuff, I have a whole live series about it. And it explains all kinds of nifty details about it. And you can actually see how that amp was built from A to Z. Like literally from the, the thought in my brain while I was sitting on the shitter to the actual design of it. It's the whole nine, like literally the whole thing. So we go from napkin to physical with that. So if you're interested in that, you can also check that out. I will forewarn you, it is not a short series. I haven't really done all the math on it, but easily over 200 hours. Easily over 200 hours. Furking around with that thing. And it's only just all kind of come together in the last couple weeks. I am trying to spend as much time as I can with it. Because I do have to send it off to South Korea to John here in the next few weeks. I'm gonna see if I can get some other hands on this thing. By other hands, I mean other individuals. I'm gonna see if we can. Oh, the way they did that is so rude. I'm gonna see if we can find other individuals to play it and check it out. That's the hope. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but we'll see. I think this is how. No, that goes there. I'm going to try to put these things back in the packaging so that way, people can enjoy them. Packaged up. That's the hope. But we're going to see about how well this all works out. Because I'm already not doing a very good job. We're going to go back the other direction. Official Forsaken Tendencies. So the first one would be, what do you think the best locking tuners are that are under $50? I purchased the Safu locking tuners. String worked well. Do I buy again? So these tuners here, I'm actually very impressed with. So I took a chance on this guitar and I bought the Geiger brand locking tuners. It's 3-on-3. I got the gold hardware because that's what came off the guitar. These things impressed me so far. They're not the super wazoo ones, like where they have the different pull heights. I prefer the ones that have the staggered heights, but they didn't have that option. Of course, it's asking a bit much. But these things are smooth. They're a 1-to-21 ratio, so you got to twist them a little bit more, which I think also helps kind of with the smoothness of them. Very impressed with them. I think I got them for $35, I think is what they were. Amazingly cheap. Unless I got like an oddball awesome set, which I find it hard to believe. I bought them off of Amazon. Highly impressive. I would say they're just about on par with Hipshot. So if that's anything. Now that's this particular set here. Again, this is the the 1-to-21 ratio locking tuners. I cannot speak for everything else that much. This is also Geiger, and so far these impressed me. Out of the box from the factory, the intonation was about spot on. I don't know if I just got lucky or if they've been doing it long enough that the little Chinese guy sitting there screwing those things in is like, right here. Maybe that they just actually take the time and have figured out what that spacing needs to be. I can only guess. I don't know, but impressed. Much better quality than some of the other Chinesium parts out there. That's not locking these days. Some guitars are trying to... Yeah, I love the locking tuners. The 1x19s, yeah, these are the 1x21s. I like them. They're doing the thing for me. I will not argue with them. Now, I kind of feel like that's just not how this is supposed to go. How does this thing go? Where did that box go? Where did I put the box? Oh, I'm trying to put these things away. They go like that. Huh. I'm gonna guess, I should have paid attention, I might have to go back to the video, but I thought they were kind of like that, but that's the way I'm gonna put them in there. So, you don't like them? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the neck dive is part guitar design, unfortunately. It might not be possible to get away from that in every case, unfortunately. I could be wrong though, I don't know. Yeah, that's what it is. Haha. Okay, so I want not that one, this one. I'm fingering it out here. Okay, there's that. Now we got to do the same thing for this side, except for they go the other direction. I guess, maybe. Sorry, I'm not on camera, so it's kind of hard to see what it is I'm talking about here as I'm literally yapping with myself. I'm trying to get this thing put back together in such a way where it goes back into the case in the manner in which it came out. Like so. Because somebody is going to get to take these things home. Maybe what I should do then is actually separate these like they were. So we had 6 of those. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a couple more. There's a 5 and I think a 6. Yes. That one's different. We are not going to use different. We are going to make them all the same. Oh, I think I know what it is. These are the ones that go to it. Okay. Sorry. I got 3 different types of screws in here, so I've got to weed them out here. And you look totally different than everything else. And so how many I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's got to be at least one more. There it is, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those ones are going to go in this little baggie here. I got 5 on it. Get out of there. Sorry. And then let me reconfirm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see here. I only like this. I don't spend an hour restringing. Yeah, right. Working on extended range. Well, I don't have any. I wanted to get into extended range guitars. I was hoping to be an early adopter to it, but at the time, because I'd already invested money on an 8-string early in the game and realized later that I probably made a bad purchase decision when, you know, the fan fret extended range guitars started coming out. I was like, you know what, I'm going to hold off a little bit, wait for the technology to settle so I don't become one of those guys that was being guinea pigged. Because ultimately that was what had happened with me is, you know, literally the first year that 8-string guitars kind of were coming out, it was like, I can either go Schecter or I can go Agile. And as you probably know, Agile was like the biz for those guitars for a bit. Well, I didn't go the Agile route because I wanted to save a couple bucks, and I ended up getting the Schecter. Now, the Schecter's nice, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not a long enough scale length. So there's that. Now, as far as the fan fret goes, I understand the concept, and I was actually going to design one during COVID. I got Fusion 360 and started doing the design work. I bought Next to do it. I got the fretboard material. I even bought stainless steel frets to do the job with. But where the hell are they? They're buried, of course. All right, whatever. They're in the box. They're in their bag down in here. But all said and done, I just kind of was waiting a little bit longer yet still to see what kind of direction technology was going. And then it just got to a point where it was so ubiquitous. Like you could buy like those Lizard, I think it was Lizard brand, or Legator or Legato or Legator. I think it was Legator. You know, you could buy that stuff now for what, $300-400, and I was just like, there's no freaking point. I might as well just go buy whatever it is I wanted. And sorry, I'm looking for something while I'm trying to talk at the same time. Because I sat something down somewhere. I just can't remember where. But yeah, so I kind of gave up because it's like, okay, obviously the technology is changing really quick for those things. And I just didn't want to settle on anything yet until it seems to have gotten settled. And needless to say, I think it's kind of stabilized now. I don't see a whole lot of new stuff going on, but conceptually, like all the scale lengths and how to set them up and stuff like that, yes, I could do it. I understand it. I haven't invested in it yet. So baritones, not necessarily baritones. I do have an 8-string, which is an extended length. It's a 26.5, which isn't saying a whole hell of a lot. Again, baritones aren't really much different from a normal guitar. It's just different scale length. But let's see here. This Reverend Warhawk, 6 pounds. Holy hell! You put a in the. That's one way to do it. Okay. Dang old kids with the fuzzy multi-strap thing. Yeah, right. I was hoping to get onto the 8-string thing early, like as I already said, but because I kind of saw where things were going to go with it, and then Animals as Leaders came about, Periphery, Meshuggah. I think Meshuggah's gone back to 7 strings now. Even Deftones played with 8 strings for a bit. I think he's gone back to 7 strings. ToshiSweetStaffy from Animals as Leaders has gone back to 7 strings, if I'm not mistaken. I know he had a 9-string for a minute even, and I think it's just too much work when you start dealing with all that number of strings. But hold on, let me clean up my space a little bit more, and I'll show you my 8-stringer, just because we can kind of go over its strengths and its weaknesses. There's quite a few weaknesses, because I think some of what I'm talking about might go over other people's heads at the moment, because I'm talking about like length of scale and these different technologies. But let me show you what getting into the game a little bit too early does for you. It's not as cool as one might think. So it's a beautiful guitar, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I think Schecter can't be beat in terms of value right now. Like, hands down, Schecter is very difficult to beat in terms of all that, all that kind of stuff that I was just talking about, value and all that jazz. But and even then, and we're talking, I think this one's a 2008 or 10 or something like that. Oh wait, this is a 2008. Beautiful guitar, right? Come with, the black nickel hardware, active pickups. It's a beautiful guitar. There's nothing wrong with it. Rosewood fretboard. It's done well. It's got the EMG. This is just before they came out with the 808X, right? The ToshiSweetStaffy ones that he was using for a little bit. That's what I'm talking about, like getting in too early in the game and ending up losing out. That kind of thing. But what's wrong with this guitar? Well, it is a 26.5-inch scale length, right? So that's to say from here to there, it's 26.5. So it's only an inch longer, which makes this F sharp very floppy. But you want to see some crazy stuff? Like, this is where the corners got cut. This is going to trip you out. Look at that. What does that look like to you? What does that look like to you? A standard jack or a standard neck plate for a standard guitar used on an 8-string. So that's one of those things where I kind of like, darn. It is a mahogany body, but this thing is thick with a carved top. Now, it is a veneer top. It is not a real carved top. It is a mahogany body that's got a carved top thing going on, but that is a veneer on there. It's a beautiful, beautiful guitar. It sounds all right. I'm not bothered by the sound at all. These EMG 808s are a little dark. I would prefer them to be a little brighter. I think that's what the 808Xs were kind of more known for. So, but the 8-string's popular. Yeah, Rob Scallion was kind of into that. And then, you know, like literally probably within a year after I bought this one, they started coming out with the multi-scale shit. And it was just like, damn, I should have just got the multi-scale. Because that's the right way to do it. I haven't played the 8-string through this amp yet, so I just kind of want to know, what is it going to do? See what I'm talking about though, with like how it's kind of floppy? It's because of that short scale length. With that short scale length, it just blah. It's really hard to get the joom jooms out of it. Let me try thinning it out and see if it does the joom jooms. Horrible. I am not an 8-string player, as you can tell. I don't spend a lot of time with this thing. So, I had to drop quite a bit of the lows out, obviously, to tighten it up. It'll kind of do the joom joom thing, but no gate. That's what it does with no gate, of course. No other preamp, too. I'm literally plugged straight in with a 10-foot cable. So, yeah. Excuses. And for not being a proper 8-string guitarist, I'm not, I am not that guy. I was a little bit better at it, a little more in tune with this style of music at that point, Meshuggah, Animals as Leaders and stuff like that. But in the last, 15 years or so, I just haven't bothered. I think I've only picked this thing up probably 5 times in the last, literally 5 times in the last 10 years, maybe. So, Doom Machine, yeah, it'll do that at least. So, I don't know. Yeah. So it has its problems. The joom jooms just sounds like doo-doo because the string length is not long enough to keep this thing from being a floppy mess. So that doesn't help anything. That's why multi-scales are definitely better. But these things came with some cool features. It has a Graphtec nut. It came with a Graphtec nut. It is a scarf noit. Nork, nork. It is a scarf jointed neck with a volute. So that's kind of a big deal. That was one of my other primary decisions for getting it. It came with nice tuners. I think these are actually... 20 to 1 or 1 to 20s or something like that. They're slightly higher ratio than the typical, 1 to 18s that are on most guitars. But when I got it, I was a little disappointed, only because like the big things was that I thought was some bullshit. I kind of also wish it had, I got a scratch in it, of course, but I also kind of wish it had like an all access freaking neck joint. Like, this body is thick. Let me tell you, this body is thick. It's I know it's a solid 1.5 inches at least. But the handshake that, a lot of people talk about, like, that is a fat freaking neck joint. And it's kind of heavy. I mean, it's easily an 8-pound guitar. So little things like that kind of, make it less enjoyable. And then they started coming out with the headless freaking multi-scales. So yeah, I don't know, one of these days I am going to pick one up, but it's not high on my priority list right now. I'm kind of more into building guitar amps. I think I'm better at that anyway than I am of a player. So anyway, I hope everyone had a wonderful day. Thank you for hanging out with me for as long as you have, because we've been doing this now for what, 3 hours? 3 hours and 45 minutes. We almost had 4 hours out of this. Woo! But this was, of course, all about the most authentic guitar in the world. The world's most authentic guitar is a Gibatelli. Spent Electrons, thank you for getting with it. You should have been doing that like months ago. Steam has started to come up. Grant, tell everybody, how many people have entered recently compared to a few weeks ago? Has the number of people gone up? Thank you, Offset, I appreciate that. Has the number of entrants gone up in the last week or two? That is the question mark. We haven't had a chance to really talk off, out of channel yet. So, I know for a fact that we've had several others enter the giveaway recently. Thank you, Sloth. I appreciate that. I'm missing the other Sloth isn't here. I didn't see him tonight. He missed it. This is the one that you want to see. Like, come on. Who doesn't want to see a Gibson Les Paul Custom with an ESP neck and a Telecaster body made out of mahogany with a set neck and full custom parts? Come on. I'm hoping you're going to answer me, Grant. I want to know how many more entrants have been recently than later. I am going to try and get some other hands on this thing. I know that I'm the only one who you've seen play it so far. I'm trying to get hands on someone else to give their own opinion of it. It's still a little full, depending on what's going on. You can thin it out, though. It's got a lot of thump to it. The mids control does kind of help with that. I didn't mess with that when I was playing with the 8-string. I just rolled the bass all the way out. And it, you heard it tightened up just a little bit. But you can use the mids to kind of help suck some more bass out if you need. So it's pretty versatile. It's a really versatile thing. And I know, Spent Electrons, you were talking about the tone stacks and how you're starting to not like them a little bit. I'm going to tell you right now, you haven't lived until you take out all the tone controls. Or put in tone controls like I do, where they don't, more or less, the tone controls I put in, when it's turned all the way up, that's just basically like it's out of circuit. Like the amp, that's what the amp would do if the tone control wasn't there, right? And then when you turn it down, it does its thing, right? I try to make mine so they're not overt. So, you know, like the high circuit in this one is kind of a boost, if you will, but I also tuned it so it wouldn't be so dark when you turned it down. The mid control on here is basically just a frameless mid cut control. So it's not, I didn't break any pioneering ground with that one. It's just a frameless mid control, but it's where it's at in the circuit that I think makes it so A, powerful, and B, effective. The mid control on this amp is after everything in the preamp. It is the last thing that is hit before it goes into the master volume. So when you cut the mids, you're not sucking any of the drive out of the preamp side of things. So you get to keep all the mid character in the distortion segment of the amp, but it tone shapes it after the fact. But the low and the high are in the front end of the preamp, so you can kind of help get that brightness and the amount of woof or heft that you want early on. But the mids, the way that it works, at least where it's at in this kind of layout or whatnot, is that it kind of does suck some of the bass out and some of the highs. So it collapses a pretty big trough out right around, it's centered around 1 kilohertz, but it sucks a big trough out and it takes the bass and the highs with it. So it does kind of tame some of those other frequencies, but the presence control is really where it's at, I think, with this amp. It's got a lot of range. So between those 4 EQ controls, you can make it so they're all out of circuit, more or less, or in a neutral state, if you will. And the way that the mids and the presence work, you kind of have your low mids and your upper mids on that side of things. And then with the low and the high cut, you kind of have your low lows and your upper highs. It's just kind of everything's split into these 4 little segments of the sonic spectrum. It works really well. If it's the last question is it your flavor of amp? It's got a pretty raunchy distortion, realistically. I like it. It's not for everyone, I don't think. If you're into the Marshall kind of grind, it's not a Marshall. Yeah, connects the ground to lift the tone stack out. Yep, exactly. Yep. The doctor's in the house. Beautiful Earth, welcome. Come on in. Hope all is well. I don't like the Fender Marshall Vox circuit at all. It sucks just a butt ton of gain. So I think the only reason why those circuits work kind of as nice as they do is they put them so late in the circuit, right? So, you know, you've got your preamp here, you've got all your gain stages here, and then they stuff it at the ass end of the circuit. So it has no choice but to cut the highs, the mids, and the lows. But the problem with that is that you got to do a lot of tone shaping over here before it even gets to that tone stack, because now you got to shape things around making that tone stack work with everything else. They're not flat. Almost every tone stack that I know of, Fender, Marshall, Vox, even the high watt, they kind of have this, you know, kind of not a duck curve, but you know, the lows kind of come in over here. There's like a dip in the mids. There's almost always a dip in the mids, right? They always got some sort of cut, like whatever. And then, you know, the highs are always like way up there. Like the highs are always generally higher. But when you cut all the highs out, it really cuts all the highs out. It almost kills everything all the way into the lows. When you cut the lows out, it starts eating into the mids and it sucks like everything that's low and most of the mids out. So then all you're left with is the highs. When you suck the mids out, it just kind of, it moves a little bit. And of course it carves out this scooped mid-range. I don't like that scooped sound. It's not my flavor. I like my mids. I love my mids. But, you don't realize how much spank your amp really has until you bypass the tone stack, especially if you do it after the fact. Like if it's a late tone stack and you take it out, you're gonna have like a huge gain boost. If it's an earlier tone stack, like in some many Fenders, and there's a couple different Mesas that actually use it pretty early in there. The Dumbles use it early in the circuit. There's a couple other amps too that also use the tone stack early in the circuit. I believe a Trainwreck also uses the tone stack like right after the first gain stage. I think that's kind of the better place to use it. mainly because you got another makeup gain stage anyway. You're almost always going to have some other gain stage after that. But then by the time you blast through another couple tubes after that, like it's going to spank and get with it. So you kind of use it as basically like an input EQ when you put it up on the front side. Now, I like using EQ on the front side. Most of what the EQ in an amp is meant for isn't to, it's kind of a two-part thing. It's to compensate for the frequency response of your speakers and your guitar. So if you plug in 5 different guitars, you're going to have 5 different sounds. You can kind of tweak it a little bit this way or that. And then, of course, you know, you play through 5 different speakers, it's going to sound like 5 different speakers. So you can kind of use it to meet somewhere in the middle. And I think a lot of the sound of an amplifier and the way it sounds naturally in and of itself, whether you like it or not, is part of that, having that baked in, you know, EQ control that is part of what a Fender Marshall Vox and a high watt tone stack is. That scooped out mid kind of thing, generally more highs than you really want. Sometimes it can be woolly bass, and it might be woolly bass because they let a lot come through early in the circuit and they're relying on that bass control to cut it out. A lot of people kind of complain about like a JTM 45. A lot of people say just turn the bass all the way off because it's got so much bass or woof and wool to it, right? It gets woolly. Well, it's because there is just a lot of heft in that front end. So they're just relying on that tone control to do all the work. So, but do it earlier and imagine what kind of an amp would be. I try to make it so all of my pedal boards have some sort of an EQ control on there because you can do a lot of tone shaping before it even hits the amp. I wouldn't say that you're gonna, like a 31 band is probably a little extreme. You probably really only need like a 5 to 10 band EQ. And there's just some key frequencies that you can change that really kind of help tighten things up, right? Obviously, much below 80 hertz, you probably can tamp it down a bit. Things above 5 kilohertz, if you really, really need air, you can add in. Or if you've got too much poke at 5K for a, you know, a single coil, you can, you know, pull out some of that poke. Same thing with like a humbucker. You want to get some of the chirp out of it or add some chirp in. You can kind of play around in that 2 kilohertz area. So you add some of that chirp in or out, whatever, you know, all kinds of stuff. But you can't get that fine-tuned with a 3-band EQ. So that's why I think EQ works better in front of the amp. I don't like using EQs in effects loops either. I think a lot of people think that's a great spot to try to solve all your problems. I don't think it solves any problems. Every time you add a filter to the circuit, which means every time you move a filter up or down, it's adding noise. And you're like, but how does sucking the filter down add noise? Well, anytime you start sucking filters down, it's reducing output volume. Well, the only way to make that volume back up is to increase the volume or the gain, which means what's coming up with that? The noise floor. So the noise floor comes up, right? Let's see here. Yeah, exactly. Always use an EQ and do it when changing guitars. So in either case, I think I've rambled on enough. I kind of have to use the bathroom. It's been 4 hours here in a couple more moments, but I had a lot of fun today. This guy will start to become a little more known. This is going to turn into probably a good shop dog for me. I am going to change out the nut, and then I will work a little bit more with the action and some of that stuff, but much better guitar today than it was yesterday. So you guys, I can't thank you enough. I had a great time. I hope you did as well. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye.